just absolute. Brendon is here. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to SRW for 2023. We are here, round one of the GT3 Mini Endurance Series, coming to you live from Hockenheim Ring in Germany. It's a traditional Friday night here that we run the GT3 cars. We have over 40 drivers registered for the series this year. We're looking forward to some great action across the 10-week series. Round one here at Hockenheim Ring in Germany. Formula One circuit as well, very prominent on the GT3 scene. We're expecting some great racing here tonight. My name is Brendon Walton. With me in commentary tonight is Toddy Thornburn. Toddy, how are you?
I'm absolutely awesome, mate. This is going to be great. 2023, first round at Hockenheim Ring. This is going to bring some skillful driving, I think. These guys are going to really have to think about their fuel and their tyres, etc. Nice sunny day, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely. Hockenheim, always quite a warm track temperature-wise. Tyre degradation is going to be something the drivers will be concerned about, and obviously as we do limit the fuel here in SRW, we do encourage that pit stop, so the fuel game will come into play as well. Over 40 drivers, as I mentioned, going to be a pretty big field. We will split the field into Pro and Am classes as the weeks go on. I believe it's the first 3 weeks for seeding. Any standout drivers for you, Toddy? Obviously not. I mean, we have the usual suspects.
Sorry, apologies. A bit of an audio issue there for a second. Something had just fallen out of the jack there, so apologies. So people to watch, definitely Doug Gowans. We know that he won last year's TCRs, and we know that he lends his skills to the GT3s. He loves driving them, so he's one to watch. Ray Oliver's always one to watch, and Kyle Ridley's always got some serious pace. So I think those three are always good guys to watch. But Jake Edwards always faster than anything he drives, right? So.
Yeah, definitely Jake Edwards also one to watch. I mean, the kitten cars again, back from last year, Andrew Lydon, Daniel Byrne, they were pretty prominent competitors in the AM class. I can't remember which one of them won it. I think it was Lydon off the top of my head. I don't have my notes in front of me.
Yeah, it was Lydon,
for last year's results. But, I would expect to see those guys running up in the Pro Series this year. It looks like Lydon in the BMW this year, which I think is a change of car for him too. They were running the Porsches last year, so very interesting to see who's showing up and what, as I see an Audi up on screen ahead of him, which we didn't see any of them last year either. So new cars, new tracks, and hopefully some great racing to come. Yeah,
most definitely. It's a very technical track, actually. It's very varying in the kind of corners that it's very flowing, but in a lot of spots you kind of have to really pull it up, especially at the hairpin. I think the easiest way to call that is Spitz, probably. I can't really say the last part of the corner name, but yeah, Spitz will refer to it as the hairpin. So.
Yeah, definitely some technical corners and some even technical names, obviously, being all in German. We'll probably try and avoid most of them, I think, just for our own saving graces.
Most definitely. Mercedes is an easy one to do, though, so yeah.
Yeah, no,
Mobile One curve is always easy. Yeah.
Harry Dodds on screen there, of course. Big change for Harry Dodds in the off-season. Change of team, gone over to the Juiced Frog Leap racing team from PSR, Performance Sim Racing, sorry. So yeah, interesting team there. He'll be teaming up with Ray Oliver and Harry in the Mercedes. Last year started out in the Mercedes, switched mid-season to the Ferrari. This year coming back. I did see him in
maybe.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Although
did
his,
actually, didn't he? So,
his graphics still got the Ferrari up from last year, but I'm sure that'll get sorted out in the weeks to come.
yeah, looking good out on track. It's always great first round when you see all the brand new liveries and how things have gone over on the off season as well. So it's great to see a bit of shuffling around with these guys, and good opportunities for people, and maybe they fit better into other teams, and see how they all go, I suppose.
Yeah,
We've seen it
definitely.
in other series as well. So
Definitely Carl Hodgkinson there from Crisscross Racing, still sporting last year's livery. I did spot a couple of new Crisscross liveries on some other cars. Carl obviously just running last year's one still. That's the Poolmaster Crisscross livery. Carl had a pretty good season last year as well, running in the AM series. He was sort of a not really a race winner as such, but certainly up the pointy end, very consistent performer. We saw him earlier on in the week in the Dev series for the Vet Supercars, put in a very strong performance. So expect to see good things from him this year as well.
yeah, if he takes a deep breath and he stays out of the trouble, he's always good.
Yeah, definitely. Another one to watch, of course, as we look up to Tom Riley there, running in the Audi. As I mentioned before, no one ran the Audi last year, and Tom Riley, a new name, I believe, to the Friday Night GT3s. So it'd be very interesting to see how he performs.
Yeah, it'd be great to see the R8 out on track, which is great to see. It's a great sounding car as well, so it's great to see them on track. But they are a very difficult car to handle or master, I'd say. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think the rear engine, mid-engine sort of configuration sort of is a bit more difficult to drive generally in iRacing, but when you can get it right, they get that setup dialed in, they do tend to be quite fast. We see it quite often in the Porsches. Obviously, we made reference to Jake Edwards before. No doubt he'll be in a Porsche. We haven't seen him on screen yet, but I can assure you he'll be in a Porsche. And the Audi's probably the same way around. There we go. Should be switching over to Jake Edwards there for us. Those rear engine cars, when you get those setups dialed in, they do seem to be quick.
You just have to keep that mid-corner speed up, and that's the thing that I've noticed with those mid-engine rear-wheel drive GT3 cars. You kind of have to keep that mid-corner speed up, and that's a kind of different driving skill to your kind of front-engine rear-wheel drive, where you kind of want to downshift, rotate, and brake as late as you can into the corner. You kind of brake a touch earlier, and then try and carry that speed through the mid-corner and the apex, I suppose.
Yeah, driving style very different in the cars, and I mean we sort of talked about it throughout last year as well. Different cars suiting different tracks, and I think this is the track that'll suit those mid-engine cars here. As we see D. Keane having a big moment. He's in the McLaren, another car we didn't really see too much of, if at all, last year. So really good to see a good mix. Signature flames there from the McLaren, blowing those flames out the back end. Another car we haven't seen, and another rear-engined or mid-engined, technically, I suppose, GT3 car.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, and it's great to see people mixing it up this year a bit. I think in the off season, maybe these guys have reevaluated what cars they were going to use, and maybe he's just settled on the McLaren. He's had some great results in the officials, and decided on this one. So I do like this car, actually. It's great fun to drive. I just haven't really mastered it much yet. So
yeah, and I mean,
I'm a fan of the Mercedes. Sorry.
Yeah, and last year kind of became a bit of a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche kind of show. Harry Dodds went a bit left field, jumped in the Ferrari late last season. Something a little bit different. But yeah, as you say, great to see a good mix. So just to let you know what's going on now, the practice session has ended, and we now move into qualifying. Drivers have 30 minutes to set the best lap time they can, and then obviously after that qualifying session, we will go into our feature for the night, the 90-minute sprint race.
This is going to be epic. Look at all the different... We've got so many different cars on the grid. We've got a representation from everyone on the grid this year, which is so good. As we see the Ferrari coming out of the pits as well. How good. Mr. Pavlovich just coming out of the pits in the Ferrari there as well. KFC Ferrari, that's a good looking car.
Was that a Ferrari or a Mercedes? It looked like a Mercedes. Yeah, Pavlovic's in a Mercedes, as he was last year.
Sorry, it was Jason Shin that I saw there. Possibly. In the Ferrari. Apologies.
Yeah, the fishy Ferrari, Jason Shin.
Oh, you've even got the Lambo out there. That's an unruly car, but if you can drive this thing fast, you can be really quick.
It's going to be really, it's going to be really interesting to see how all these cars play out. Obviously, you know, last year, different cars suited different tracks better. I think Hockenheim probably going to suit the Porsche, I want to say. Lots of sort of mid-speed corners, some of those tighter sections as well. BMW tends to be kind of the all-rounder for most drivers.
That was Robbie Bradbury we saw in the KFC Ferrari. Sorry to cut you off, mate. Sorry.
Nah, you're good, mate.
That's a beautiful looking car. And these guys are always fast, so we'll see how he cuts his way through the pack. Thomas Sanderson is one that we saw some massive improvements from last season as well, so here we want to watch, I think.
Yeah, definitely plenty of cars to watch, plenty of drivers to watch. A lot of new names in the mix too. I look sort of through the list now. Robbie Bradbury, he's a new driver. Jason Shin from Fishy. I think he was around sort of late last year, but certainly his debut in the Friday Night GT3s. Who else we got in there? Tom Riley, I believe, again sort of popped in late last year, but I don't know if he was in the GT3 series.
Right.
He was in the NAS trucks, we've just been told.
Ryan Green
is another new
name as well.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got some of our rookies, some of our dirt guys, mainly Tyler Sheaf. He's back in the GT3 again this year. Good to have him back in.
He's quick too. He's one of those guys that's pretty quick in anything he drives, and he's improving a lot in all these different cars as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how he's going. He did really well in the sprint cars last year, and he's done really good in the really well in the TCRs as well. So it'll be interesting to see him flex his muscles a bit in the GT3, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll mind me saying, you know, the biggest thing that let him down last year was probably just his consistency. So, you know, hopefully in the off season, had a bit of seat time, got a bit more experience, get a bit more rhythm, and expect to see, you know, continuous progress from him. Kyle Ridley, they're already coming out of the gate, 1:38.0, puts down the first quick lap, and that's pretty high up there or pretty low down there, I suppose I should say, as far as lap times are concerned, right out of the gate, Kyle Ridley.
And look at that, in the top 5. I think we've got one representation from every single car in the top 5 by the look of that there. That's awesome. Oh, and Kyle, wow, Andrew Lydon with the 38.4 as well, 1:38.4 as well. He's absolutely smashing. He did.
Yeah,
they just got a different livery on.
I believe they switched to the BMW, but I believe some of them were running Porsches as well. But not surprising to see the kitten cars working together and qualifying, and even on race pace, you know, they're pretty similar. We saw it so often last year, Lydon and Byrne working together, making their way through the field.
Sheepy's got a couple of green sectors there, so he's pushing hard right now. Kyle Ridley with another purple sector for his first sector again. So he's pushing again for another lap. It's great to see this the R8 out there actually just taking it to the field straight away. Nobody picked that car last year. Maybe someone was missing something last year. Or maybe through the updates, the old balance of power has come back in favour to the Audi a little bit more. What do you reckon, Brendo?
Yeah, well, I mean, interesting topic you raise. I know there's certainly some conversations between drivers around the balance of power with the season update that came out sort of end of December. I know the Lamborghini got quite a bit of a boost. A lot of drivers, particularly in the, I can't even remember what endurance it was, but the Lamborghini became quite a popular car, and I think it's sort of one of those cars too coming up to Daytona that quite a few drivers have got their eye on. Obviously a lot of straight line speed, a lot of high RPM from the Lamborghini really suits those long straights at Daytona, and it does handle quite nicely too. And
it's got a lot of torque as well, so you're going to get good exits out of corners and good grip out of corner too. If you master it, if you can master it, it's a pretty difficult car to master. You have to spend a lot of hours in it, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Greg Barber there in the 911 Porsche running the old Martini livery. Great little throwback there. And of course, one thing that we're going to see this year too, which we didn't really see in the past, is a lot of drivers now and a lot of painters in iRacing really working on their spec maps. It's something that iRacing have spent a bit of time on to make the cars look a bit more realistic. For those of you who don't know what spec maps are, it's basically creating a realistic chrome. So when you do a design, you can choose to have bits shiny, you can have bits dull, and anywhere in between. So as painters continue to explore that, we saw that Martini livery was pure chrome. If you look on the crisscross car, for example, we've got, I'm not sure who that is on screen. Could be, no, it's not Jake. Nothing good. You know, the crisscross livery, the white has kind of got like a chromey tinge to it. The black is a bit more matte. So that's something we're going to see a lot more innovation with the cars. I saw one of the fishy cars, they've had their signature fish over the rear wheel. That used to be a
chrome, don't they?
Yeah. Full on chrome now, and it just looks amazing.
Yeah, it does look so awesome. Just on a side note, we've just had Tom Riley, a newcomer, absolutely smash out a 1:38.344. So he's absolutely killing it right out here. Wowee, it's great to see someone. Oh, what? We've got Audi on 1, 2, and 4 at the moment. Oh, upset.
And not to be outdone, Kyle Ridley answers back with a 1:37.8, so 2/10 faster than Kyle Ridley as well. Andrew Lydon's still up there as well with his 38.4 hanging on. It's looking like a lot of the drivers at the moment just cruising back around.
Oh, another Audi and another newcomer up into 4th. Whoa, come on.
As we mentioned right at the top, we have 40 drivers registered for this 10-week series. At the moment, we have 25 in the session, so 25-car grid here tonight. Actually, that might not be accurate because 2 of them will be race control. 23-car grid here for opening night, which is pretty good. Obviously, not all drivers are going to attend every week. Real life can get in the way sometimes. But, you know, it's going to be great to see some really strong fields, hopefully some big numbers. If we can get, 30-plus cars on track one week, that's going to make for awesome racing.
Oh yeah, definitely towards the back of the pointy end as well. When we come to some of those tracks towards the pointy end in our series, it's going to make it very, very interesting because there's a couple of tracks there that there's little to no overtaking spots. So yes, very interesting for a field that large to be able to kind of navigate, etc. So we'll see some fireworks, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, while drivers are sort of doing cool-down laps and changing their tyres at the moment, we can probably have a quick rundown through the calendar. So this week we are at Hockenheim Ring. Next week we go to Walton, so very tight technical Australian track, and as you just alluded to, 30 cars around there will be absolutely chaos.
Mayhem. Yeah.
Round 3 we go to Silverstone. Round 4 Long Beach. Now Long Beach, another track. You get 20, 30 cars around there, it's just going to be chaos. Those concrete walls give you no room. Week 5, Sandown.
Hairpin is going to be absolute chaos, I think. People need to give each other some respect around there, because, yeah. Woo.
Yeah, Long Beach, I think, is going to be probably led by the safety car, but hopefully we can get some really good racing, because that track can generate some great racing.
Oh, fantastic. It's so much fun, isn't it?
Definitely. Week 5, Sandown. Week 6, Donington. Week 7, Brands Hatch. Week 8, Red Bull Ring. And then we round out our endurance series. Round 9, everyone's favourite, Bathurst. And finally, we close off at Le Mans, the home of endurance racing, I suppose you could say. So a really interesting calendar, really different tracks to last year. Obviously, a couple of double-ups here and there that have come over. Bathurst, I think... Silverstone was in the calendar last year as well, but those are real fan favorites. The drivers always show up for those big nights, and I think we're going to see some pretty good racing on some pretty good tracks.
I think so. I think Brands Hatch will be one of those very interesting ones. That's always one that's people either love or hate. But on a side note, we just had Matty Keane slot himself up into 5th place as well from SLM Racing, so brilliant racing there from Matty Keane. Well done. Obviously, that time that he's spent a bit of time with the SLM boys is spending a bit of time with Scotty Rankin at the moment. So I think they're getting a bit of expert tutelage there on the side, so it's actually showing in their racing. Matty Keen's just got another purple sector. Sector 2, come on, son. Oh, he wanted to drive the Ford tonight, I've just been told by ShiBBy. Oh, I just jumped into second place, come on. With a 138.56. Come on. 0.256, sorry. Brendon. Wow, he just got dropped down to third, didn't he? Tom Riley just dropped down to third because Matty Keys just slotted himself up into second in that McLaren. So what we were saying about that McLaren earlier, Brendo, he might have just found his nice little sweet spot.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be one to watch. Greg Barber now jumps up into second place. Great lap from Greg Barber, 138.23. So it's 3 thousandths of a second over Matty Keen.
That is insane. Wow-wee. Greg Barber, that is an improvement out of sight. Wow-wee, just throwing down. He's done some serious practice over the off-season.
Yeah, definitely. And Greg Barber, another one of their guys under the Crisscross clan, I do believe. Yeah, I should know. That's my team, but I've been a bit out of the gossip the last week or so. Things change really quick in the sim racing scene as the new year comes around, so it's good to know that Greg's back on the team.
Looking beautiful in the throwback livery, just for, I think it's probably round one, just to do a throwback to the Martini. But as you see, we've got quite a few. We've still got 2 of the Audis still up in the top 4 or top 5 there, so there's still, but they are dropping down. Ray Oliver up into great lap there. He's just up into 7th now.
I tell you who we haven't seen on the timing screen yet is Jake Edwards. He's sitting there in the pit lane, so yet to set a time. It was something we saw a bit last year, and it's something that I didn't particularly encourage, but you know, drivers opting not to qualify.
Yeah, I hear you.
It creates an interesting point of contention. We saw it quite a bit last year. We won't name names, but you know, like, obviously if you're quick, you like the challenge you're getting through, that's cool, but also like there's that respect from your opposition to set
Thomas
that time as
Sanderson,
Kyle.
sorry.
Yeah, Thomas Sanderson goes up, but Kyle Ridley also goes faster as well. So Kyle Ridley stays on pole, 137.8. Thomas Sanderson, 137.9.
Oh, wow. Thomas Sanderson breaking the 138 barrier. And the only person that has actually done that yet to now is Kyle Ridley.
Oi,
so Kyle Ridley in the mid. Who's had a moment there?
Thomas Sanderson just had a spin around.
Curse of the commentator, eh, Brendo?
Celebrating his second place, yeah.
Nice. Well done, mate. Well done. So, why not?
Kyle Ridley there backing out of his lap, letting the kitten cars going through? No?
Yeah, that's the kitten cars. Kitten BMWs there. I tell you what, those Audis do sound good.
Oh, yes, definitely. I always found it quite distracting as a driver following the McLaren too, with those flames flying out the back. It's the only car I believe. The only car I believe in iRacing that has flame effects to that extent. Oh, hey, big moment!
Oh,
it's green. That's found a bit of the grass.
Ouch! Just a bit too much jandle on the exit, but look at that.
Yeah, Bradbury there in the KFC Ferrari. Coming over the line, orange sectors. I did see Greg Barber with a purple split briefly on screen, followed by an orange. He might have backed out of that lap, I think. He's come off the timing screen. Jake Edwards out on track now, green sectors. That'll be his first lap. Where's it going to put him?
137.8. Whoa, come on! Smashes the 138 barrier straight away. Oh yeah, an off track there, so it didn't actually count that one, but he definitely broke the 138 there. So whether that was inflated because he had a bit of an off track, but he's on the push now, guys. So he's got the capability to break the 138 at least, Brendo, eh?
Oh, definitely. Jake Edwards is going to be one of those guys you expect to see him podium each week, and if he's not there, he'll be pretty damn close. Beautiful looking Ryco Tools Porsche there.
like there's still a bit of traffic there in our qualifying. Hopefully I can use it to their advantage rather than it being a hindrance.
Yeah, and that's always been something else that we've looked at in the through last year as well, is teams working together. Obviously, we see Jason Shin there repping the Fishy Boys. You know, we saw maybe 5 or 6 of them any given week last week. I think he's the only Fishy Boy in the field at the moment.
Yeah, it used to be a lot of piranhas in the pond.
Yeah, we're missing the boss, and Jamie Dyke's not there. I'm just trying to think of some more names.
Yeah, there's Dylan DeBono.
Yeah, DeBono.
Yeah, but
is he not? No.
He used to be, didn't he? I don't know. I can't. It's hard to keep up anymore. As you said, on the off-season, things change, etc., etc. So.
Yeah, definitely. That young lad from last year, whose name's currently slipped my mind, that got 3rd in the AM series.
Delaney's. The Delaney's.
Delaney, yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they'll probably be putting in a lot more emphasis on their V8s and that sort of stuff as well. So, yeah, but Ty did really well last year in the GT3, so I thought we would have seen him back, and Blake. Yeah, and then TCRs as well. I thought we would have seen Blake and Ty back, but maybe there's... Oh,
yeah, they're both registered.
Or maybe they just don't like round 1, warming up, getting ready.
Or maybe they're just giving the rest of the field a head start.
Yeah, true. Yeah, just sandbagging round 1, eh?
Alrighty, so that approaches the, or just over the halfway mark now in qualifying. This tends to be sort of the dull in qualifying. We saw last year get some really blistering times in the first 10 minutes. Not much happens in the second 10.
Although we got that famous 10. Kiwi, Matty Gerard, on screen. I thought he would have pushed a lap, but he just likes being on screen, just showing off the silver fern, I think, mate.
Oh, definitely good to see he's kept that livery. I'm sure fellow SRW commentator Connor will be very impressed to see that he's kept the fern for another year.
Oh, and here we have Cowie. Ooh, he's in the Ferrari this year. That's looking nice too, with the purple accents. I like it.
Yeah, I believe Cowie ran the Ferrari last year as well. Did pretty well, actually. Again, not one of those drivers that you see winning races, but certainly winning battles amongst drivers of sort of similar ability. But he'll be one to watch, definitely. Very exciting driver.
Yep, and he always he fights with the best of them as well, which is awesome.
The other driver who's just crossed my mind as we were talking about Matty Gerard and some Kiwis is Bruce Tannock. Another driver in the Mag and Turbo Mercedes it was last year, who had a very good showing last year, placed very well on the championship points as well. So
yeah,
I really hope we see him again this year.
It might have been. It might be one of those ones that it's like, oh, Hockenheim ring. I haven't spent that much time around there, but I've spent plenty of time around the other tracks. So you know, you can kind of understand sometimes. It's kind of or it might be too early in the year. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, I've just been told he's not registered for GT3, so that's very interesting. But it is one of those... So registration does stay open until the 3rd round, so there is a chance that we may see some of these guys returning. And obviously if you're in the sim racing community and looking for something to do on a Friday night, by all means jump in. There's no I rating requirement, no safety rating requirement, anything like that. It's open to all racers who follow the rulebook and race clean and fair. And we do get pretty good clean racing, 99% of the time here in SRW. So we just watch Cowie explore the entire track.
Just having a little bit of an excursion, just exploring exactly where the track limits are, just to make sure that it doesn't go over them during race. So.
Oh, really? They're getting loose out of turn 1 as well. Big moment.
Wow, what a big moment. Especially in that Audi as well, man. Once it goes over that kind of limit, you're a passenger, man. Because once it kind of goes over almost like a pendulum limit, because all that weight in the back of the car, you're a passenger at that point.
Lashif getting a couple of green splits, staying down in 24th though. Jake Edwards, we kind of missed that, but 37.75, he tops the timing chart. Straight out of the gate.
Wow,
I
he
think we
was
all
on a
missed that.
flyer though. Wow, how did he just come out and just absolutely destroy that? But we've got a Porsche, and then we've got two Audis in second and third with Kyle Ridley and Thomas Sanderson. So, wow, this is nuts, man. Top five. We've got three different manufacturers in top five with Matty Keane in the McLaren and the number 38 car in fifth. So that's awesome.
Yeah, interestingly, the top Ferrari down there in 13th. You know, the Ferrari for me is my favourite car. Probably the easiest to drive, and that's why I like it the most. But I know it's not always the quickest.
Yeah, it's almost like the first car you kind of get in GT3s, and you kind of, that's how I found it. And I raced that for a bit, and then went, okay, it's obviously not as fast as everything else, but then you kind of have to go on a learning curve with a lot of the other cars because they do have their own little quirks and stuff. So I kind of went to the GT3 Mercedes and stayed with it.
Yeah, it's probably a fair assessment. I think I went from the original Ferrari, not the current generation one, back when they had the Ferrari GT3 Fixed Series. They still do that with the new car, obviously. And then I think I went to the BMW after that, and I think that was for a Daytona 24 hour or something. And I've since tried to learn the Porsche, but I sort of just have never really got on with the Porsche at all. But it's interesting how drivers, find these different affiliations with cars and they get comfortable in a certain car. Obviously, Jake, is kind of renowned for the Porsche. Pavlovic kind of pretty much is always seen in the Mercedes.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to your driving style and what you kind of, I think Jake Edwards loves to hang the back end out a little bit and those sort of things, and that kind of lends itself to keeping up, with that rear-engine, rear-wheel drive, kind of mid-engine, rear-wheel drive cars. It kind of hangs the back end out and you get that. And I think this, as we were saying earlier, there's a different style of driving these cars in different ways, and sometimes it's not until you drive the car and until you know whether you can drive it or not. And maybe Matty Keane's just like, I've never really tried the McLaren. Oh, actually, I can drive this. I can drive this pretty fast. I might stay at this. So you never really know until you kind of dip your toe, right?
Yeah, and it's good to be different sometimes too, because so often you see in a GT3 series just everybody driving the quickest car, quote unquote. Yeah. And what a big moment there for Ray Oliver, getting the last corner completely wrong. On a really good lap there.
Just trying to maximise his exit, I think, there. Maximise his braking room, but might have been a touch too late there, buddy.
Yeah, definitely 100%, 110% use of the curb there on exit. So resets to the pits, straight back out, ready to have another crack. And I forgot what tangent I was going on there. Can you remember?
No, I can't quite remember, but I'm sure it was a great one. We're talking about the McLarens and testing out unique cars.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Yeah, no, so, drivers sort of find a car that they like, and then you see series where everyone's running the same thing, and it gets a bit boring, so sometimes it's nice to be the odd one out.
Oh, 100%, and especially on different tracks as well. You might see it here, and there's, the McLaren. It might be a great car around here. It might struggle around other tracks, or it might just have some real, advantages. You might have spent the whole off-season going, okay, I'm going to test all these different tracks for the actual season, and then just pick my car, which I know I can be the fastest around those tracks. So be it.
Yeah. I mean, at the risk of making an assumption here, I would assume the McLaren behaves somewhat similarly to the Porsche, and that it's probably a good mid-corner track, but not so much a straight-line speed car.
Yeah, somewhat. And I think things like the Ferrari is a great starting car because it has the dual front and back, dual traction control essentially. So you can kind of set it up with the mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars to be able to hold a lot more mid-engine, mid-corner speed. So as long as you hold that, then you can get good exits, and then you can get great high-end speed, etc. But as long as you can master that whole different style of driving.
Yeah, definitely. I find that the Ferrari is the kind of car you've got to drive on the edge, whereas something like the Porsche, for example, I sort of have to be a bit more reserved with. But then obviously, again, once you get the hang of it and you sort of know where it's at, you can start to push a lot harder.
Yeah, because you need to get used to squirreliness essentially of the Porsche. But if you can predict where it gets squirrely, that's when people get fast, like Jake Edwards, obviously. Yeah.
So we have just under 5 minutes left in this qualifying session. I think too the track now starting to heat up a little bit. Obviously, cars on there laying down some rubber, probably making it a little bit harder to set a quick lap time. As we see Dots there on screen.
On track still. Oh wow.
Yeah, well, look on the track map there. You can see just the lineup of traffic coming down the back curve, down into the hairpin.
Yeah, that's
Three Dots there, just
it looks like Auckland traffic right now. Peak hour morning traffic.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to find a bit of space there. A couple of
Jake
cars
Edwards
have
with
got
another purple sector, Brendo. Whoa, come on!
Yeah, his quickest time at 1:37.5.
And then Kyle Ridley with a 1:37.55. He's bumped himself above Jake Edwards now, and Jake Edwards is on the attack back to try and get his pole back. Is he going to get this? He wants the extra point. He wants to get this pole. He wants to. Ooh.
1:39 that time by.
Might be setting up for this. This might be the flyer though. This might be his last chance to get this flyer as well.
Oh, we'll ride with Jake for this lap. Thomas Anderson goes purple in the final sector. He goes into second place as Jake Edwards backs out of that one. Going to go for a fresh set of tyres, obviously. Harry Dodds gets 2 green sectors. He moves up into 11th place. We ride on board with Kyle
and Thomas Anderson slot himself up into second place now. Wowee.
So the Audis at the moment look, well, you say probably the quicker cars. Followed by 2 Porsches there, the Crisscross boys, Jake Edwards and Greg Barber, sorry.
This might be a telling sign for the race, I'm just thinking, Brendo. Because these things, as soon as these guys have got these guys in this Audi in a really nice tyre window, they seem to have a bit of an advantage here, maybe, possibly. And we might see, like, mid-race, these guys might come into their own in the Audi.
Yeah, well, I mean, you go further back from Barber, you got Matty Keane and Riley there, both mid-engine cars as well. The top 6, all mid-engine cars.
Wow, yeah, true. I suppose that, GP being a Grand Prix track as well, it probably lends itself to a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car as well.
Yeah, and I mean, as you look through, you go back to 13th in the Ferraris, Proctor down there in the Lamborghini in 21st. Not always the quickest of qualifiers, but probably expect him to be a little bit higher than 21st.
Maybe just struggling with the new car around here. Yeah, probably just normally up there a bit further, but
still can't get over how good that livery looks on Greg Barber's car.
Oh yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Down to Spitz hairpin. That was very smooth by Greg Barber. Ooh. He's had some massive improvements, man. He's spent some serious. He's always been quick, and he loves a Porsche though. He loves the 992, and he loves this GT3 Porsche as well. He's a big Porsche fan. So Greg Barber's always been quick, but it's great to see him back up the top once again.
Yeah, I think most of the crisscross guys tend to favour the Porsche in the GT3 series. The other driver that's missing, of course, is Adam Hughes, previous series winner. I don't know if he's registered either, but I know he does a bit of RC from time to time. But another very quick driver that's one to watch whenever he gets on the track. Greg Barber, purple through Sector 2. Just as we cut away, he does something awesome. Switch because he comes around.
Oh, he's got an optimal of 0.45.
He's gone green in the final sector as the checkered flag comes out. It's only good enough to stay in 4th.
Oh, beautiful, but he held it.
Yeah, hung on to it. So we've got Proctor and Burns still on their laps. Burns coming around. He's the last car on track. Orange through 1 at the moment in the Kittens BMW. Oh, and he's lost it. Round he goes. Couldn't handle the pressure of being on screen.
Oh, listen to that Lambo. Oh, come on.
Oh, that is the most amazing sounding car, I think.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, that is so good. Wowee.
So Proctor crosses the line, and that will conclude the 30 minutes of qualifying. Kyle Ridley with a 1:37.55 takes the pole, followed
What
by
a lap.
Thomas Sanderson, Jake Edwards, Gary Barber, and Matty Keane. That rounds out your top 5.
Yeah,
Tom
Greg Barber
Riley.
with that last lap. I reckon he'd be really, really stoked with that because he broke the 1:38 barrier with that 1:37.96, which is a big highlight for him, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So,
definitely top 4 guys here in the 37s. Where was up to? Yes, Tom Riley 6, Daniel Burns 7, Dylan Gray 8, Andrew Lydon 9, Ray Oliver, that's a shock, down in 10th. Harry Dodds 11th, Ryan Green 12th, Robbie Bradbury, one of our new drivers, 13th. Pavlovic 14 again, a bit of a shock. Probably expect to see him a bit higher. Jason Chin on debut in 15th. Doug Gowan 16, Nathan Gardner 17, Cowie down in 18th, Matty Gerard 19, Cullen 20. We've got Proctor, Johnson, Michael Locke, and Tyler Sheaf rounding out our grid. So we're just waiting for the cars to grid up now.
I think something interesting to say as well with this round 1 as well. These guys, a lot of these guys are in brand new cars that they're not used to. So I think what they're going to be thinking is, use this as a bit of a. They might not have their tune right, they might not have their setup quite right yet, or they're still trying to test out, how much they can push the fuel, etc., etc., etc. So I think the first round, these guys might be dialing these cars in a bit, and then second round, these guys will have them a bit more set up better and all those sort of things. So it's going to be a great spectacle tonight, I believe.
Yeah, definitely, and the undercut is always on, or the overcut. The pit strategy is very important. It's how much the drivers use their tyres, how many laps they can stretch on a fuel tank. Generally, a good fuel save might be worth 1 to 1.5 laps over a 45-minute stint. But it's really the tyre management more than the fuel in this series. Obviously, all drivers can do it on a one-stop. Some guys will burn their tyres. They'll take 2. They'll go for a shorter fuel, bit of fuel as they take their tyres. So we're just waiting for the drivers all to grid up now. We see from the helicopter cam there, cars magically appearing out of thin air.
Yeah, and as you were saying earlier, it's going to be a tough track on tyres. So it's be very, very interesting, as you were saying, with the overcut and all the undercut. If I was driving, I'd be trying to do a bit more of the undercut, just so I could, but it's kind of, double-edged sword, isn't it? If you do the overcut or the undercut, you're kind of in the same position, but, do you get yourself fresher tyres towards the end, or you give yourself more rubbish tyres towards the end and try and get a better start? Who knows? Yeah,
and I think in a race like this too, you've kind of got to play it by ear because, you need to be mindful of who's around you, how the race is unfolding, where you're going to come out. Obviously, you don't want to come out of the pits and be stuck behind sort of someone from, what will become our AM division.
Yeah, true.
You got to think about track space. There's a lot going on.
Here we go.
Lights are up. It will be a rolling start. The cars are gridded up around just at the entrance to the stadium section.
So we're going to be doing a nice little formation lap, not really a formation lap, but a rolling start here, just to get these guys in order and a nice, clean start, hopefully, Brendon?
Yeah, well, that's the ideal situation is a nice, clean start. Obviously, from the commentary booth, it's always good to see a bit of action, but for the drivers, they'll be wanting just to hang on to their track space, get a good jump out of the off the line, and lead their battle into turn 1.
As we see the safety car go off, here we come, here we go. Woo! Round one. Green flag, let's go.
ShiBBy Friday Night GT3 Series 2023, they're 3-4 wide going into turn 1. It will be Kyle Ridley that takes the lead. There's contact on the exit. Jake Edwards is involved. Jake Edwards has had a huge punt. He's collected a Ferrari on the way through. I'm not quite sure who that was.
That was Bradbury. Oh, on the way through, he's collected him on the re-exit. I don't think that was a re-entry. I think it was just his car still spinning.
Yeah, I think his car was just still spinning. So Kyle
Wow.
Ridley's had quite the jump. Race control reviewing that now. I would expect probably there to be a safety car off the back of that contact. Jake Edwards' car, I would go as far as to say that it's probably pretty well stuffed.
We had Daniel Gray in that. We had Jake Edwards. We had so many people in there, mate. We had Matty Gerard as well. So Matty Gerard's been taken out of there, and Tyson McAvoy is out of the pit lane now. So we shall see our pit car, our safety car out there, out of the pits, just waiting for the crew to come round to the back of him. Wowee, that was an eventful start. Thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for the action replay.
Yeah, so we'll cut to the replay. We'll see exactly what just happened there. I think, oh yeah. So Peter Pavlovic had a car check up in front of him, gave him a bit of a bump, and then oh no, that's a separate incident altogether.
Wow. That just happened as a chain reaction because they were trying to brake.
Jake Edwards getting absolutely nailed on the follow through. And shortly after that, off the screen, he got nailed by a Ferrari coming through as well. So Jake Edwards, really bad start there. Sanderson caught up in it all as well.
Yeah, it was Dylan Gray got caught up in that, and he just had nowhere to go, really. Wow.
So it was the 88 car of Sanderson that initially spun.
So did he just get too hot on the brakes there?
I think he might have just found himself off the track.
He was braking on curb.
Braking on the curb.
Yeah, that's what set him off. He was already braking on the curb on the outside.
Oh no!
Oh, it's a touch.
There's a bit of touch. There's a bit of a touch from Jake.
Oh, Matty Keane had such a great start. Oh, he's come off it. Hopefully, Matty Keane hasn't got too much damage from that.
Great save from that kitten car, whoever that was, to avoid that incident. Cowie coming through behind in the Porsche. In the Ferrari, sorry.
And Dylan Gray just had nowhere to go. Whoa.
Yeah, well, that angle tells a very different story. So race control with a bit to unpack there. Here we were playing the victim for Jake Edwards, but it turns out he was probably the cause.
Wowee. That's a pretty thick field going into turn one, though, isn't it? Oh, something was bound to happen, but we didn't think it would.
Yeah, definitely. So already not even one corner down, and Tyson McAvoy, our promo department safety car driver, in the McLaren GT4, flashing his lights away.
Big shout out to the promo department for all your support as well for SIW TV. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great to have our sponsors on board once again for the 2023 season, and great to have the promo department looking after the safety car. Gets plenty of track time when the restarts look like that, that's for sure.
Yeah. Tyson just out there flashing his lights like he loves doing.
Yeah, definitely. Tyson looking for a better year this year in the safety car.
Sorry, say something, but I can't. I'm laughing too hard.
So, those of you who don't know the running joke, last year, Tyson crashed the safety car.
Yeah.
And religiously, it's been brought up every broadcast since. And I think if he gets through the season without crashing the safety car, we'll let him off. We might stop bringing it up. But in the meantime, Tyson crashed the safety car, and we need to bring it up on every broadcast.
Wasn't it twice though?
I think it might have been twice.
Yeah, it was twice last season.
I think once at Winton he spun it.
Yeah.
And there's another one when he collected the pit wall, but I can't remember exactly where that was. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure they were two different tracks. So
yeah,
right.
different. They were definitely different weeks.
We got a lot of love for Tyson in the front.
Oh yeah, he knows.
Race control also. So thank you. We're just ripping you up a bit, mate. That's all.
Nah, it's all right. Tyson knows we love him. We love him.
Yeah.
And Stephen McCartan, our head RC, he'll be making the calls tonight while Tyson's out there keeping the safety car straight. So massive shout out to Steph and all the RC team for all the different series, working tirelessly behind the scenes, making sure the rules are written and clear, understandable, and then obviously during the racing, doing the hard work when it is required.
Yep, definitely not an easy job. Hey, I don't envy their role. It wouldn't be easy sometimes. So
you're not always the most popular person in the Discord server. I can promise you that much.
Yeah, no, not at all. Everyone's always got an opinion, right? Yeah. Anyway, back to racing. Matty Keane, what an absolute, what do they call it? Hail Mary he's been given here. Matty Keane he qualified in 5th. He stayed out of that. He got a little bit clipped, but he's got himself up into 2nd place now. So very well done. With Harry Dodds up into 3rd as well.
Harry Dodds up 8 positions.
That's insane. He's really profited from that, but that's the thing. If you're used to it and you race a lot of officials and things like that, those things happen all the time. You kind of get used to those reflexes, right? So as we see Tyson just speeding up that, getting a bit more speed on that safety car. Seems like he might be bringing it in soon, so that's always hopeful.
The flashing lights have stopped, so Kyle Ridley takes control of the field. I believe the rolling restart speed remains at 90 kilometers per hour. Single file restart. Obviously 90 kilometers per hour for most of these cars is probably about 75% of first gear, sorry. Most of these cars I suspect would be geared to about 110 kilometers at first gear, so it can be quite difficult to hold speed in these cars. As we see Kyle Ridley take an early jump through the second to last corner, leads the field away for the restart. We go green once again.
Keane's still in the hunt though. Didn't let him away too well. He read that well. I think Keane read Kyle's jump really well, and the rest of the field behind him has as well. Especially that top 5 read that really well.
Yeah, definitely. They haven't opened up too much. They've kept those gaps nice and tight. Especially Harry Dodds. He's right on the back of Matty Keane at the moment, coming through the S's there.
Oh, we got a bit of a wide. Tyler Sheep a bit wide out there on turn 1. It'll be interesting to see. He's just holding up the field there. Matty Gerard behind him, just trying to file his way past him on the outside. Will he make this stick?
You've got the inside line now for the chicane. Sets them up beautifully. Takes the inside line. Yeah, well executed pass, and if you kept an eye on the timing screen, you would have seen Harry Dodds now up into 2nd place. Pretty much an identical move as Matty Gerard's. Took the inside line on Matty Keane through the hairpin, and he's made himself a great position now chasing down his teammate. Frog Leap Juice Racing 1-2 as it sits early on. Oh, look at that. There we go. We've even got the replay for it. Harry Dodds making the move down the inside at the hairpin.
And brakes. What a move. Come on.
Pass there from Dodds. Oh, and as we go live, there's a KFC car off in the grass.
Oh, I got Robbie Bradbury. He was off track there. Oh, Robbie Bradbury. Just holding his brakes there, making sure he's alright. That car looks alright though. It doesn't look like he's slapped it into the wall too hard, or he's kept it out of the wall at least.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't catch the incident. I just happened to see it in the corner of my eye.
Jake Edwards.
Yeah, into the pits. Damage.
So that's interesting to see. That was a big shot at the start, and we'll see what happens after race control sorts out that first incident.
It's just come through. That was a black flag for Jake Edwards, so he'll be doing his drive-through penalty in the pit lane.
Well, that just answered the question then. Perfectly.
They'll be right on board with Ryan Green. Huge dive.
Oh.
At the hip and thinks better of it. Runs a mid-outside line, gets up on the curb. Pick up the throttle down in 14th. Ryan Green, of course, one of the new guys to the GT3 Friday Night League.
Always got some pace in that thing, doesn't he?
It's
a touch on Greg Johnston. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's probably going to serve himself a black flag, I would think.
Oh, wow. I hope he doesn't have too much damage on that Mercedes. It looks all right.
Yeah, I was going to question if it was just the camera angle, but it looked like he was coming in really deep, and as it turns out, there was a bit of contact there. So Ryan Green is on. Greg
that
Johnson
Ferrari,
calling in.
Doug Gowan's Ferrari behind there, just all lights flashing.
Yeah, Greg Johnson just calling that one through to race control, so that incident will be looked at. Yeah, Gowans has had a pretty quiet start. He's sitting one position back from where he started. We jump up to our one fishy car in the field. He's got Cowie behind him.
Oh, battle of the Ferraris now.
Yeah, these guys are having a great tussle through the stadium section. They popped up on the second screen. This battle's certainly starting to form now. And Cowie will be wanting to make moves. He'll be wanting that top 10.
Oh, here we go. He's got the draft. Oh, and he's got him under brakes. Beautiful move. Down through the Spitz hairpin. Oh, come on, Cowie. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful race room given by both races as well. So, well done.
Yeah, a lot of respect shown there. That hairpin probably going to be the place on track where we see most of the big passing done. Probably the easiest opportunity. You've got that nice big draft. You can step out. You can take a tight line through that hairpin. You don't have to compromise too much exit speed as well. Daniel Byrne at the moment all over the back of Ray Oliver.
Oh, that beamer just putting pressure on this Audi R8 at the moment.
And Byrne looks quite happy just sitting there. He's sort of just, he's there enough that to let Ray know that he's there, but he's not really making any dives. He'll be waiting for his time.
Yeah,
maybe trying to set something up at the hairpin. Yeah.
Use that slipstream as much as you can. And that's where we, especially in these cars, so you can actually save, a sufficient amount of gas along the way if you just sit behind somebody you know is pretty quick, and if you're confident. Oh, a bit of a big
Edwards again.
And Mickey Locke. Involved. Mickey Locke and Jake Edwards.
Worst possible start there for Jake Edwards.
Is that coming out of the pits?
No, that was coming into the pit lane, I think.
Oh.
So what have we got here? Jake's come up the inside, great pass. Tries to go the outside, just cuts him down.
Oh.
That was probably Jake's corner, I'm going to say. It looked like he was far enough forward.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, maybe possibly a bit more racing room should have been left. Who knows?
Yeah, probably another one for RC. Ryan Green was black flagged for that incident we saw a little bit earlier. Brake checking. Well, not brake checking. Not braking at all. Was it Greg Johnson, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, getting to brake. We'll put it that way here.
Yeah, a bit of a drift there from Pavlovic coming out into the stadium section. Currently running in the top 10. That'll be the result he's kind of looking for. We switch back to Tyler Sheaf in 17th. Bit of a pass going on there from Bradbury.
Well, he's hunting now. He's back on the back of the pack after that little bit of an incident, so he'll be hunting now. He lost a bit of traction, we'll say. He did a bit of lawn mowing, but he didn't damage the car, that Ferrari. So it's good to see him back on track, and he's back hunting for position now.
Yeah, Michael Locke there being black flagged for the contact on Jake Edwards. So as we sort of suggested, Jake was far enough in front. It was his corner.
Thomas Sanderson, is he going to make this happen on Mr. Gardner? Well, he has. He's quite easily. It seems like Nathan's just let him go there a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe just this point of the race.
It can be quite hard to get that drive off the hairpin when you're on the outside line. Very difficult to make the crisscross and get that run back.
Oh, look at the draft. Wow. Oh, he hasn't given him enough room now. Oh, that's just blocking. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Nice using every bit of putting his elbows out there a bit. Just making sure he can make the move and make it stick as well, right, Brendo?
Yeah, definitely. Greg Johnson now trying to put the inside line down at the hairpin. Pulls it up a little bit too slow, if anything. He's going to leave himself vulnerable to Bradbury behind, who's had a great run around the outside. Look at the run from Bradbury down the outside. He's side by side. He'll have the inside line coming down to the next left-hander if he can keep it in line. Yeah, late on the brakes, managing to leave Sheafy alone in front of him. Still hasn't made that pass stick though. Look at that from Johnson and Bradbury. Great racing there. Side-by-side action from both of them. Now he's managed to slip in front.
Seen so much respect between those two, between all these races tonight, which is had a couple of incidents, but we've seen a lot of respect between these guys in the mid-pack and throughout the pack, just kind of giving each other room with these massive battles. Come on. Is he going to make this stick again now? Robbie Bradbury's on the actual hunt now, right? Bloody hell.
Yeah, definitely on the charge. We switched to Jason Shin. Left himself wide open to Sanderson there. Makes the move up on the inside. Coming down the back straight, he'll have the run down to the hairpin as well. Pretty textbook pass there from Thomas Sanderson. He now chases down Gray and Pavlovic up ahead. Nathan Gardner there in the Porsche just stepping out to make a move. Ray Oliver we jump up to now in 5th place. Still has Daniel Byrne all over the back of him. In fact, this front battle pack, they've actually been going at it pretty relentlessly. Matty Keane all over the back of Harry Dodds. Greg Barber not that far behind him. And then Ray Oliver is just a second up the road from that, who we're on board with now. So the top 7 or 8 cars are all kind of within a few seconds of each other. So it's really great to see. You know, we're not, almost 20 minutes into this race, and the field is still tight.
Yeah, super tight racing still, hey. And Ray Oliver up 5 positions. We've seen some. And Cowie, he's a bit of a standout, I think, so far. He's up 9 spots already.
Yeah, equal with Harry Dodds up 9 as well. Obviously, Harry sort of got his through the Turn 1 incident. A bit of good fortune there, but Cowie, yeah, really on the charge.
Just using that draft and that slipstream, we saw those. How strong the draft is in these GT3 cars, you can see. Oh, we're having flashing lights here. Get out the way!
Sanderson in the Alpha Venturi, Audi looking to make a few positions back up after a pretty poor start. Working his way through the field, yeah.
He's got caught up in that, but he's had his repair and he's gone through the pits and he's all good, so he's all good. He shall be making the charge now. Mr. Harry Dodds with a standout performance so far, stayed out of the trouble. Kept himself, you know, just kept himself patient, kept his head out of the weeds and kept himself and his car out of the weeds, so it's been good, mate.
Yeah, and Scotty and I had this conversation on Tuesday night, but, you know, we'll reiterate it, you know, Harry's changed teams again this year, looking to sort of try something a little bit different group of guys, see what he can get out of it. Harry's sort of the racer that always likes to improve, looks to... you know, increases racecraft, increases speed, have more podiums, you know. So obviously he felt that he had sort of got all he could do get out of the PSR boys, you know, and obviously someone there in the Juice team has sort of said to Harry, hey, look, let's try something out, let's work together and see what we can do. And obviously it's working at the moment because Frogleaf at the moment sitting 1-2.
And a brilliant effort from both of them, working well together. Well, he's under some massive pressure from Matty Keane at the moment in this McLaren. They do drive a little bit differently, you know. Probably this track probably actually favours itself a little bit more to this McLaren, so it's going to be interesting. He's putting on pressure already. Is he going to be able to make this move and then keep him off, or is he going to be able to? Are these guys going to be in this battle for the next 3-4 laps?
Yeah, Matty Keane there all over the back of Dodds. He sort of faked left a little bit. And he was just trying to pick the right time to go right. And a huge move from Barber. Trying to make a pass as well on a vulnerable Dodds. Committed racing, but also very well done there from Barber, leaving enough racing room.
Brilliant racing from all of these guys. Wow, now he's under super pressure. He was under pressure by Matty Keane, and now Greg Barber's got pressure on him.
Yeah, it's like
we're like to the commentator there, but Doddsy, you got this, brother.
Yeah, it's what we like to see. Big calculated risks, we'll call them. You know, committed moves, but also, you know, keeping it in check, making sure it's sensible, not doing anything too silly. You don't want to bin the car, you don't want to get yourself a drive-through, and you certainly don't want to take out your opposition. Great racing from our top drivers here tonight.
seems like Andrew Lydon's had a bit of an off track there a bit. Is he just using all the track there? Is SDK just lying to me a little bit?
Dot certainly had a bit of a wiggle coming out of that last corner. Ray Oliver now in fifth in the other Frog Leap Juice car. Stuck behind Gary, well not stuck behind, but currently behind Greg Barber. This is a great little battle pack, I have to say. Like, these guys are sort of some of the top guys in the league as we switch back to an overtake there. Dylan Gray put one over on Peter Pavlovic, and a bit of a wiggle there from Peter. Coming through the exit. Great pass there from Dylan Gray.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Put him under a lot of pressure. He didn't even see him, I don't think. It was very, very quick. Didn't see him. I think that's why that wiggle on the exit happened, eh? So, oh, getting in on the gas. Yeah.
Whoop, there's a car there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Brilliant racing from these guys. We're already almost 22 minutes in. We're 21 and a half minutes in already, and it's this close. If it's this close 20 minutes in, man, it's going to be this close at 40 minutes or an hour, I think, still.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is extremely close racing. I sort of can't even... I'm trying to think back of like when I can remember last year when there were this many battles throughout the entire field. Usually would see sort of, you know, maybe 4 or 5 cars and the rest of the field pretty well spread out by the 20-minute mark. But you know, at the moment on the timing screen, we've genuinely got, what, 4 battles going on right now across the track.
I think it's just because we've got so many different cars, right?
Yeah, I think that plays a lot to the part. There's so much variety in the field, and you got the likes of Jake Edwards, who's had a terrible start. He's currently chasing guys down. You got Bradbury, who's making moves through the field. Gardner's trying to have a bit of a recovery drive. Sanderson's coming back up through the field.
Cowie's just slaying like he is.
Yeah, Cowie's making phenomenal passes.
Yeah.
He's just gotten
in a groove with this car. It's good, hey. He's gotten a really nice groove with this car. He's in a really nice tempo. And he's building up a bit of gap behind him. I know Sanderson's got some serious pace. Maybe Sanderson will have him, but he'll be able to hold off Dylan Gray and the rest of these boys, definitely.
Yeah, I would think so too. You know, like you sort of look at the field. Cowie's kind of on that, how do I put this? On the quicker end of the slower guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's like on the cusp of being...
Yeah.
Like top 5, I think.
Yeah, sort of a consistent top 10 performer.
Yeah, 100%. And every season he comes back and he just gets better and better and more consistent, a bit more patient on track, and yeah, it just shows.
Boy, there's been a bit of smoke there. Someone I saw go around.
Oh,
Harry Dodds.
Harry Dodds, no.
So he was running so well. 3rd place.
Oh, we've had big moments.
Guessing he's done this all by himself. Yeah, sent it into the corner. Tried to go for some style points. Didn't quite catch it.
Oh, would have been epic if he did though. Oh, it would have been so good. Because it was almost at that point, but obviously these GT3 cars, you can't really get opposite lock on them too well.
You can't really put your foot down because whatever little amount of traction control you're running does kick in. So Jake Edwards now looking to make the move on Johnston. Johnston sort of just runs a little bit wide and lets him through, I think, there.
But you can see how smooth and how at home he is in that Porsche, and how much he loves Porsches, really. He's very smooth in that, especially his smoothness around that hairpin is incredible. Mr. Jake Edwards, he's been in a lot of melees tonight, so he won't go away from tonight finding it's his most favourite round of the series, but he'll come back bigger and better next round. So
yeah, probably not one he's going to do too much of a diagnostic on. I think just sort of put it in the back burner and look forward to next week. And we see Ray Oliver on screen there. We saw so often last year Ray driving that BMW, just a constant performer. Always up there in the top 10, if not top 5. really humble on how quick he actually is. I think he forgets just how good he is himself sometimes. All over the back of Greg Barber now, just trying to put a move onto the Martini Porsche. Probably looking to set up down to the hairpin. He does poke his nose into turn 2. Oh, he's
got him on the brakes, does he? Oh, it looks like he might. No, he doesn't. Oh, Greg Barber giving him enough. That was nice from Greg Barber, giving him enough but not enough at the same time, you know? That was very nice.
Good car positioning from Greg Barber there.
Brilliant driving. It's so awesome. It's just so awesome to see so many different cars on the track and how close these battles are. And we're so deep into the race already. 25 minutes, 26 minutes into the race. Come on, this is awesome.
And that was really subtle, but also really good driving from Ray Oliver. He was on the inside line. He was looking for the opportunity to take that inside dive. Identified he wasn't close enough and just decided not to. Backed out. You know, many a lesser driver would try and shoot that gap, try and push the brakes as far as they could. Ray knew his mark. He knew where he was at. Very great piece of driving there from Ray Oliver. Not being over greedy.
Yeah, 100%. Restraint, isn't it? Because you just need to pick your battles sometimes, and sometimes the battle's just not on, is it? So, Mr. Tom Riley, our newcomer, on the hunt now in the 888 car. He's done very well. He got caught in a bit of trouble, but he's pushing his way back through this pack now. He's back to his original starting position, and he's still putting a bit of pressure, but I think he's just using his draft at the moment. It looks like he's pretty comfortable there. Oh, whoa! Who's gone wide there? That's Mr. Ryan Green. Was it?
Yeah, I think so. Tom Riley's sort of having to check up a little bit there. Great pass over Daniel Byrne. Makes the move. 6 side by side down the straight. Needs to probably get back into the slipstream. Doesn't look like he's got the run. Yeah, look at that. Tucked right in tight in the slipstream.
He's going to use this as well.
Yeah, I would have thought he popped out just a little bit too early. Yeah, ends up in behind.
It's alright, he's biding his time. I think this is his pressure lap maybe. And then he'll make the moves this next lap. Just making his intentions aware. Oh no, Cowie's had an off track and a bit of a crash. Oh no. What's happened there? He's dropped down the field. He's dropped down to 16th. I'm not sure what's happened there. Oh.
Great move here from Gardner. Takes the inside line on Pavlovic. Pavlovic not letting go though. Great line from Pavlovic. Holds on to the outside. It's something we haven't seen done yet at the hairpin. And look at the drive from Pavlovic. Just commands the following kink. Takes the braking line into the next left. But Gardner's not giving up.
Oh! Woohoo! Look at this thing. Apex. And the Gardner had to hook straight on the anchors right then. Holy.
Yeah, I think Gardner probably knew he wasn't going to make that move, but as we approach 28 minutes now, so well under halfway, probably looking at a 2-stop race here, we have Ridley, Barber, Riley, Byrne, Lydon, Dodds, Sanderson all in the pit lane. Further down in the back of the field, Johnson, Locke, Cowan as well, yeah.
So Cowan's in there as well too. Probably good timing for whatever happened to him. So
guys, we've missed a play here. Tyson McAvoy in the promo department safety car is out on track.
Oh, okay. So he's come out and everyone's picked because of it. Oh, okay.
This could have been the Cowie, so we'll see if we can pull up the replay there for Cowie's crash. There we go. Yeah, good replay of the safety car.
Oh, so yeah, it seems it was.
Right.
So it seems that it might have been caused by Cowie's little bit of an incident. Oh, what's happened there?
So through the magic of television, we rewind the time. This is coming into turn 1. Oh, the sausage curb.
Jumped the curb. Oh,
impact.
Oh, that is.
You can see straight away.
Right.
Car
broken off. Oh no. Yeah, that's a broken axle right there.
Yeah, that could almost be race over for Cowie.
But he's just been in the pits. And he's still in the pits.
He's still in the pits.
Yeah, it might be a
It's
long
his
one
second.
for him.
That's no, it's not. It's still his first pit stop.
That's still his first pit stop.
Yeah,
So
I don't believe
hopefully-
they have a fast repair either.
No, so it's
So
sitting there for a little bit.
could be race over for Cowie.
Yes. To me, a hard one to recover from. But what a run from him. That was so good. It was just, one of those bits you just, have one little... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Cowie was doing such a good job there. I think he was up about 9 or 10 positions.
Yeah,
obviously we can't
10, yeah.
see that on the timing screen now, but he was doing so well. Such a great drive. Yeah, up 9. Just had confirmed. So
now Matty Keane has profited from all of this. He's up in the first place behind the safety car. Matty Keane for SLM Racing. Wow, come on, son. In that McLaren, who would have thunked it, eh? The only other McLarens on track are the safety cars, so and they're GT4s, so.
Yeah, so Matty Keane and Ray Oliver 1 and 2 as it stands, yet to have pitted. Dylan Gray sitting in 3rd, pitted lap 1 as a result of his involvement in the turn 1 chaos. Doug Gowan sitting in 5th place, also pitted lap 1. Jason Chin in 6th, yet to pit. Kyle Ridley, I don't know how he's managed that, but he's pitted lap 16, which is current racing lap, and he's come out in 4th place. So great pit stop there from Kyle Ridley.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Okay, I see. So Matty Keane, Ray Oliver haven't pitted yet. So okay, and Kyle was in first. Okay, I see how it's folded out now, but pretty awesome for Jason Chin, the only fisher boy and the only piranha in the pond tonight. He's up in the 6th place. 9 spots, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
So looks like there's a couple of waiver rounds going on at the moment. A couple of drivers just getting the call to pass the field. We see them go through the hairpin now as we pick up Tyson coming into the hairpin. Matty Keane behind him. Have a chance to get a good look at some of these liveries. And I do expect probably some of these would change. See the Crisscross boys running a bit of a mixed match at the moment. They haven't really got a set livery. You've got the likes of the Fishy boys who run a pretty much a default scheme year in, year out, as do the Juice boys. Kittens changed their livery late last year. Looking very nice on that BMW. And then of course we've got some new teams too as well. MG Motorsport in the mix.
I think a special mention with the liveries as well is the fact that you kind of see a lot of these teams will have the same sort of liveries, but then they'll have different accent colours. So essentially you might see some little different bumper colours, or you might see different coloured wheels and those sort of things. And those are the sort of things for the viewers out there. If you've seen these guys, recognise it, things like Ray Oliver. He might be in the same juiced looking car, but he's got bright pink wheels,
Yeah, it makes it really... Makes it really easy for us too, you can spot the drivers and for the viewers watching as well. Just makes it so much easier because quite often the numbers can be quite hard to read on screen. So it's really good to know, like, hey, this is your identifying feature. The Fishy boys all have different, they got the black and chrome with different coloured neon. Yeah, the Juice guys do the wheels. I'm just trying to think what else there is in the field.
The Crisscross boys either do wheels or they'll do accent colours, depending. But those guys, you're part of the team, so it's the Crisscross boys kind of mix it up a little bit as well. So that's kind of cool. Yeah,
I mean, Crisscross, we really can't make up our mind when it comes to liveries. To be fair, we have a good range of sponsors and we showcase them all differently. So, yeah, you have maybe featured liveries for certain sponsors. or they'll do sort of a set one with different accents. Then you've also just got the Whitey's Pies, which is like a subsidiary team. That's what Jake Edwards technically runs as, with the Ryko car. So, you know, it's really good when you've got this. Obviously, when you've got a team like Crisscross that have, you know, 6 or 7 drivers on the field, it's the same with the Kittens. It's the same with Juice. It's good to be able to tell the guys apart.
Yeah, 100%.
I hadn't even thought about the chat.
Sorry, I'll just have a look. Can I have my...
Probably just the chat telling me that I'm dribbling on too much. Let's take this opportunity while the safety car is spinning around to read the chat.
Yeah. Apologies. Take it away, fine sir.
Adam Hughes there watching the stream, spewing that he can't race. Aaron Hawkins calling Gardner a legend. Andrew Proctor is racing and commenting at the same time. That's quite impressive. Oh no, Andrew Proctor's not racing. Sorry, oh yes he is. Yeah, he is. Andrew Proctor is in 17th, yeah. Yeah.
What's Scotty going on about on YouTube chat? I'll restrain you, Toddy. What are you talking about? I don't need to be restrained. I don't want to be restrained. I like getting excited. Oh, baby. Oh. You have to buy me dinner at least first. Or I'll cook you dinner first, Scotty.
Oh, thanks. Just reading some more of Scotty's comments. I'm glad to have Scotty on the stream. So the safety car is in. The lights go green, and Matty Keane will lead the field down to turn 1. Ray Oliver sitting there in second. Bit of a gap opening up there. Tries to keep with him to back to Kyle Ridley in third.
Oh, on the move! Is he going to make this stick? Ray Oliver deep under brakes in turn 1.
Jason Chin making a move there on Greg Barber as well. Great pass from the Fishy car. Tom Riley moves up the field as well. Alpha Venturi Racing, another team we haven't really mentioned much or given much of a shout out to.
Come on, Toddy, straight back on the wagon. Here we go. Straight on the pass. He's got pace. He knows he's got pace. He's got something to prove now.
He's got line up the inside. Check out Sanderson around the outside, or trying to. Slips into the back of Dodge. This is great racing off the restart.
Oh, I can't believe we're only 40 minutes in. This is crazy, bro. We've got so much more racing to go. This is exciting as.
Matty Gerard there, trailing down Peter Pavlovic. We saw some great battles between these two last year. Picking up right where they left off. The two Mercedes very equally matched. Obviously, little subtle changes in setup, but these guys very similar driving style, very similar pace. So many times did we see these guys battle it out.
These guys seem to have very nicely functioning cars now, so the pace is back to
up in the grass there as well.
It's Ryan Green off track. Ryan Green off track in the background there.
Yeah, so he'll rejoin at the back of the field. Michael Locke, Greg Johnston.
Oh man, we got Thomas Sanderson off track there a little bit, but everyone using all of the track also.
Jake Edwards
what a move! Jake Edwards down the inside, turn 1, come on!
And Proctor ain't letting go easy, he's right on the back, he switches to the outside. Jake Edwards will have the inside line. Proctor leaves himself vulnerable to Gray. Oh, there's so much going on around the track right now. Great racing.
Yeah, absolutely insane. What a restart.
And,
so many overtakes going on. Everyone's being very respectful though. We haven't had too much carnage yet.
And Matty Keane sets the fastest lap of the race on the first green lap there. 1:37.8, so that's right up there with qualifying time. Great lap there from Matty Keane.
Oh, Jake Edwards going wide there again. So Dylan Gray getting the inside on Jake Edwards, but Jake Edwards doesn't want to let this fight go yet. Early under brakes.
Early pause on the brake. Did very well to regain it. Oh, was that a bit of a tail slapper there from the Mercedes of Gray?
Wow, battle on, and Cowie's up there too. Cowie's back to her. Cowie's up there a couple of positions ahead of these guys as well. So Cowie, I think where it happened at the time, was a little bit beneficial for, yes, he's right at the back, but he'll be able to get a little bit of time back, I think. He's a lap down now. Apologies.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah, bit of incidents there. And guys, another news from RC, Jake Edwards, naughty boy, black flag for leaving a closed pit lane. So that would have been during the safety car. So the nightmare for Jake Edwards tonight continues. He'll be serving a drive-through penalty at some stage in the very near future if he hasn't already.
Wow, it's just been sometimes you just have those races though, don't you, Brendon? And it just, nothing comes together for you. So you just scrap it off the board and you start again next week, right?
And I mean, the thing is, it's a 10-week series. Jake Edwards knows he's good enough to compete. Yep. And I think the other thing too, we saw last year, participation was really key. Those drivers that showed up week in, week out for the entire 10-week series, even if they weren't performing, podium every week, they were still scoring consistently. They still gave themselves a really good chance. So, we sort of touched on Adam Hughes in the comment section there, not being able to race. Already Jake Edwards is going to give himself an advantage over Adam when Adam gets back in. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Adam and Jake's and their battles, Adam is something else. They are quick.
They are crazy quick. And I think it comes down to, I think it was better last season to at least just do every round than just choose one to drop as a drop round. So the guys, sure, as you were saying,
Oh, for sure. And like, obviously they have the drop round there, but, the drop round was critical in some series because the guys that were dropping 0 were at a serious disadvantage compared to the guys that were dropping 70, 80 points. Just because they showed up. Jake Edwards in the pit lane now serving his drive-through penalty also.
So now on board with Callan Hodgkinson making a move there. Trying to make the move on Andrew Proctor here, but Andrew Proctor's just keeping him at bay. Callan Hodgkinson, he's always wanted to sort of get his way through the pack. We've seen some real good sort of improvement from him lately.
Bit of a disappearing from Tom Ridley. That'll be something the RC also watch on a fairly regular basis is drivers' network connectivity. There are some rules in regards to I'm trying to remember exactly what it is, but I'll paraphrase something along the lines of drivers are expected to have a sufficient internet connection to not disrupt racing. It's something along those lines. It gets monitored. Drivers may be asked or maybe issued a black flag if the race control deems their internet connection not sufficient to allow others to race around them. It is something that they monitor. I don't think it's something they've had to really pull any drivers up on in recent memory.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning. You might see it on stream, guys, but you see what you guys see live on broadcast. You guys see just a flashing car just disappearing. A lot of the time when you're actually in the car, you'll see that car in front of you like jump 10 meters in the air and then just appear back on track in front of you sometimes. So it's very, very distracting for races as well. So when you're actually in car, it's different. It is very scary.
Yeah,
you can ShiBBy in the background going, yeah, it's scary.
you can get some real varying net code issues there. Yeah. Cars sort of going from one lane to the next, going up in the air. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it can be very, very frightening when you're sitting in the car.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, and we got Jake Edwards on ShiBBy now. ShiBBy just trying to put his elbows out in that Mercedes, but doesn't look too successful at the moment. Oh, Jake Edwards just trying to do the bump drops on him, just like trying to push him through the corner. And I think that's a perfect example, as we're seeing right there, the difference in car. front engine rear wheel drive versus the Porsche, that he needs to keep that mid-corner speed. And that's why I was trying to push him through the apex of that corner, because otherwise Jake Edwards would have kind of lost the back rear end of that car if he can't keep up that, or he would have had a really rubbish exit.
Yeah, and that would have really cost them down the straight as well. You're so right. You're keeping up that mid-corner speed in the mid-engine cars is so important, and that's a classic example right there. As we switch back to Sanderson, he's made some real moves up and down the field, and another one there on the Bank Stadium corner. That was over Gardner. Gardner there in the crisscross Porsche, and now he's chasing down Jason Chin in the fishy Ferrari.
Poor Jason Chin being the only piranha in the pond tonight.
Yeah, really
come out there just trying to put his elbows out. He's done really, really well though. Up 5 spots, come on. Not easy to have Thomas Sanderson behind you though, is it?
No, certainly not the most relaxing driver to have behind you. But it's so interesting to not see more piranhas here tonight. We've seen huge numbers from fishies in SRW and previous and last year and across all the different leagues. As we see Dodds there get overtaken by Thomas Riley. Yep. And it's just heard there from ShiBBy in the background. This battle's been going on for quite a while and it still continues. Dodds ain't letting up.
Found some real pace and he's got something to prove now, I think, after that earlier incident. I think he wants to get back to exactly where he was.
Yeah, it always sucks when you do it by yourself and spin out. You got to sort of have that recovery drive.
Tom Riley just using all the track as much as he can. Ryan Green and Kellen Hodgson are having a fat battle at the back here for 17th place. Each other enough room, but wow, come on, just pushing.
Yeah, I think Cullen maybe gave a little bit too much room, cost himself some time. We switch back up into 10th place. This battle with Jason Chin and Sanderson continues. Great defensive drive from Chin right now, really struggling. You see the flashing lights there from Sanderson. He wants to get past and he's letting Chin know. Tucks right up into the slipstream, coming up down the back straight. You're looking for that inside dive at the hairpin.
All the over under. What's he gonna take? What's he gonna try? He's trying to use as much draft as he can, but it doesn't seem. It seems like Sanderson might be the one flashing in. Oh, beautiful done. That was so smooth.
Little pass up the inside.
Beautifully done. But you can see the corner exit speed on that Audi is so much more than that Ferrari.
Yeah, and it's sort of something you see a lot with the with the Lamborghini, as well, is that sort of quicker acceleration, the higher RPM, I suppose, allows the car to get out of the corner a little bit quicker. If you can get that traction down, it's a fine mix of sort of where you put your traction settings too in your setup.
And how gingerly you squeeze the throttle on out of exit.
So, the 3 Mercs here in battle, Matty Gerard and Pavlovic. We saw them a little bit earlier with their battle, and Dylan Gray now finds himself on the back of Matty Gerard. So interesting now that we'll see these 3 Mercs battling it out. That little differences in setup, how the cars handle each specific corner, how the drivers tackle each specific corner. As we see Gray there in the background, just sort of trying to pop his nose out, look for an opportunity.
I think these guys need to start looking out for the inside apex, not riding it too much on a couple of these corners. We've seen some carnage there. We've seen some sparks from a lot of cars. People are trying to ride it as much as they can, but we'll see some carnage. So just warning out there to drivers, boys.
And we're coming up to 50 minutes now as well, right now, in fact. Matty Keane, Ray Oliver, still yet to pit. They're leading the race. Only 4 seconds clear of Kyle Ridley, who pitted on lap 16 during that last safety car. So Matty Keane and Ray Oliver right now probably are going to be due in the next 2 or 3 laps, I would predict.
Yeah.
Coming through the pit lane under green flag as we go to a replay here. Greg Barber makes the move on. I'm not quite sure who that is.
Greg Barber on Doug Gowans, yeah. Doug
Gowans,
Gowans,
yeah,
our
Doug
winner
Gowans,
of this
yeah.
series from the TCRs last season.
They couldn't quite see the livery till the camera came around.
Beautifully done.
Again,
Still
Greg
holding him
Barber.
off, yeah.
And just as I was talking about the pit lane, Oliver goes into the pit lane, Matty Keane staying out. So Kyle Ridley will take second. Be very interesting to see where Ray Oliver comes out, sitting in the pit lane now as the lead, or not lead pack, but the top 10 pack come through.
There's no way that Keane's got any more than 1 lap left.
No, I wouldn't think so. Ray Oliver already down in 15th, still in the pit. 25-second pit stop. 27-second pit stop. That's a long pit stop.
That's a long pit stop.
He's obviously taking tyres as well. Average pit stop time about 20 seconds in a GT3 car. So an extra 10 seconds, I would think he's taken tyres. We did see Ray last year.
You'd have to around here, wouldn't you? You'd have to, especially in that Audi R8 around here. It's real hard on tyres, Hockenheim ring, and you know the R8's naturally pretty hard on tyres anyway. So.
Well, somewhat infamously last year, we saw Ray Oliver and his teammate take tyres at Fuji, and it cost them the race. They were running 1-2 comfortably. Right. They chose to take 2 tyres, and they ended up sitting down there. And I think it was 8th and 9th, or 8th and 10th, or something. Famously cost them the race.
Did hey? Yeah. They struggled to get back into the top 10.
There, Nathan Gardner, and I think it was Pavlovic in the background, helps him around. Nathan Gardner finds the wall. No doubt we'll hear that one come across race control channels very shortly.
Wow, that was massive.
And, Matty Keane in the pit lane now, so we'll see where he comes out, and we'll see how long his pit stop is. Anything over sort of 22 seconds, you would suspect he's taken tyres. Doug Gowans also in the pit lane as well. Jason Chin coming in for his pit stop as well.
I bet he is stressing hard right now in that pit lane, sitting in that car, like, what do I do? Okay. No, he's taking tyres. Definitely taking tyres.
Harry Dodds there leading Lydon, and Sanderson still in the background, flashing his tyres. You see Lydon's car getting all loose on exit. Sanderson up the outside, I suppose, inside of the kink, outside of the upcoming hairpin, trying to get a run. So Ray Oliver has re-entered the track in 16th. Matty Keane come out in 14th, and he has also taken tyres.
Yeah, he's definitely taken tyres. So we'll see how this all plays out now, because he had a 30-second pit stop there. Oh, well, pit lane time was 49 seconds, so almost 50 seconds. But yeah, pit time was just over 30 seconds. So he's one of the longer sort of pit times so far.
Yeah, well, about 10 seconds, both him and Ray Oliver, about 10 seconds longer stationary than any other car, give or take, 10 seconds give or take. Yeah. So we'll see what that costs them a little bit later on.
Yeah, who knows? They might not know. Well, they might know something we might not know, but at the same time, also with a McLaren, it might need a bit more fuel. You know, you never know. It might have a bit more of fuel burn. I haven't spent much time in the McLaren, so
yeah. I mean, we haven't really talked about the fuel burn that much, really.
And we don't have really any other car to compare it to on the grid, so be interesting.
Sanderson, you see again, flashing those lights away. This time on the back of Dodds.
Just pushing hard, he doesn't care. It's like, get out of my way. In the Alpha Venturi Racing. Mate, he's got some serious pace in that R8. He's got something to prove here.
And Alpha Venturi, another team that we haven't seen too much of here in SRW, but a very prominent team in the Australasian sim racing community. So it'd be really great if, you know, Sanderson has some success and can convince some of the other boys in the Alpha Venturi team to come across and join the grid. Always welcoming more racers in the league. Obviously, to register for this series, you need to do so before round 3 has gone live or finished, or I assume before the race starts. Bit loose under brakes there, Sanderson, as he comes into the bank sweeping stadium corner. But all over the back of Dodds, he's trying to get anything to go. Dodds just catches a bit too much curve there, certainly cost him some time.
Big shout out to our round sponsor as well, Racecraft. Thank you very much for all your support. Big shout out to Permanent Apartment. Of course, our race control, and to everybody in the background at SRW TV. Melville Equipment Corp. DSL Walton.
A little bit of contact there mid-corner from Dodds and Sanderson, as Scotty Rankin, obviously nothing better to do with his evening apart from write YouTube comments. Something about telling Jake to have another pie. Adam Hughes apparently is not quick, and Andrew Proctor, another happy graduate of the Rattlegun Racing Academy. Now that's obviously a pretty prestigious academy. Really good if you want to learn how to turn left on a road oval.
No, mate. Scotty Rankin can turn right as well, believe it or not. So
he's pretty good at the TCR.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal TCR driver.
No, he's one of those guys. He's a bit like I hate to say it, he'd love this as well. He's a bit like SBG. He can drive anything. He can drive a shopping trolley, Scotty Rankin. Oh, look at that for a move. Wow, a bit of contact on the inside. Andrew Proctor trying to not let that move happen. Oh, Ray Oliver.
Good racing from Ray Oliver. Andrew Proctor just closed the door on him. Ray Oliver had the wherewithal to avoid carnage there. Great bit of racing.
That is some serious braking skill from Ray Oliver to make that happen and not lock it up and just still keep his spot. That was nuts.
It's one thing I have to really admire, and it's something I don't say lightly. Ray Oliver is probably one of the cleanest racers I've ever come across. He makes his moves. He's a quicker kind of racer, but his racecraft, his spatial awareness is just like nobody else. He knows the exact limit of his car. He knows exactly where it is on track. Very rarely do you see Ray causing an incident. So Dodds now on Sanderson, trying to get that move back. Puts a bit of a crisscross into the hairpin. Oh, there was a little bit of contact on exit. Oh, excuse me. Gardner.
Oh, Maggie Lock on the crisscross, boys. Manager right on the inside as well, representing for the Kiwis. One of my very good mates, Mickey Lock, just coming off second best to that little bit of a melee with two of them. Oh, Andrew Proctor still trying to hold off Ray Oliver. Ray Oliver making this absolutely annihilating exit to the hairpin of Spitz. Great to see so many different cars in this series. Oh, this year, this is awesome. I'm loving the GT3s. We've seen Matty Keane. Matty Keane seems to be sitting in his 14th place still. So he's only got about a minute and a half between him and the next guy. But
Walton's got the pass back on Sanderson. Sanderson.
Yes! Come on!
On the racetrack trying to get this pass back.
Oh, Sanders is not happy, is he?
Hard for 5th position right now.
Well, Sanders is not happy about that.
So DSL Boarding Services replay. This is the onboard from Dodds. Coming into the last corner, it looks like, Sanders is
a little bit wide. Too much pressure.
Oh, it's great racing. There's so many good battles throughout the field. Lydon now on the back of Sanderson in real time as well, as we'll probably cut back to them in a second. Yeah, there we are. So Sanderson's still all over the back of Dodds. Lydon right within striking range as well.
This battle's been on for laps. Here we go. We got Ryan Green on Peter Pavlovich here.
Yeah, Peter Pavlovic's kind of broken away from the battle pack that he was sitting in with the with Matty Gerard and who was it, Dylan Gray, I think, from memory. Matty Gerard finds himself back in 19th, so something's gone wrong there for Matty Gerard. He's fallen down the chart a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Matty Keane to get back now.
Sanderson goes into the pit lane, so he'll be making his 4th trip down the lane at this stage. But probably his 2nd pit stop.
Yeah. Mixed results for these guys. Qualified at the top, but it's good to see these guys actually qualifying at the top, the fast guys, and not just kind of coming from the back, and So it's good to see everyone kind of really putting their best foot forward in qualifying as well. Oh, Ryan Green getting it squirrely.
Yeah, it creates good racing. One of the things that I sort of dislike about quick guys starting from the back is that you get guys who are perhaps a little bit less confident, and they're sort of they either give up their position too easily and do something unpredictable, or they don't quite have the spatial awareness, and a quick guy just sort of goes for a gap and then blames the slow guy for not getting out of their way.
Yeah, 100%. And I've been in that position. We've all been in that position before. I think.
Yeah,
when you're the slow guy, the slower guy, sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before about Ray. Like when he has had a bad start and he's making his way back through, he's so respectful of everybody around him. He's the one trying to make the pass. He's not ruining anybody else's race in the process. And you do see it, and it sucks to see it. But when you get guys that genuinely race clean, are sort of aware of their drivers, if you've got a less confident driver you're passing and they know that they're less confident, they just give them that little bit of extra space. And it just makes a happy environment for everybody, as we see Greg Barber now up into 2nd place.
And Kyle Ridley opening up that gap a bit too much as well.
Yeah, Kyle Ridley up to almost 7 seconds now in the lead.
There's no going back for Greg Barber unless something really, really pressing happens now. We've got under half an hour to go, guys. And Daniel Byrne with a great drive. He's been very patient. And it's great to see Daniel Byrne has been patient the whole way to sit in people's drafts, sit in people's slipstream, be patient, use all their fuel, save your fuel, and it's paid off for him, man. Yeah,
Daniel Byrne's been a bit of a quiet achiever, really, this race. We haven't really seen too much of him. Obviously, him and Lydon have sort of been involved in little battles here and there, but they haven't really been protagonists at all.
He's always been at the back of those battles, though. He's always been at the back of them. He's always been on screen just at the back, but just biding his time. Very smart.
And I mean, he's got a 8-second gap, 9-second gap back to Dodds now, so he's got plenty of breathing space right now.
Yeah, quite achiever. Silent Assassin, hey. I think that's what we should call him. His new name should be the Silent Assassin, Daniel Byrne.
It looks like we have our first DNF of the race. It seems like Greg Johnson has some of those network issues we spoke about before. So he has dropped out of the server.
It looked like we had a few going on there. That were jumping up and down and disappearing off track there. So it quite have possibly might have been race control, just saying, if you're too distracted by the drivers, please jump out as well. So
looks like it's been a packet loss, so it could have been an iRacing kick. But again, Harry Dodds sitting in 4th place. He's got Lydon sort of sitting a couple of seconds behind him. Dodds has had a really great race. He's up 7 places. Obviously made quite a few from the start. Fell back there with his little spin, but he's back up into the top 5 again. So another good drive from Dodds. Half an hour to go, obviously. Still plenty of time to make something happen, but as it sits right now, there ain't too many battles around. Certainly not like there was, half an hour ago.
It's kind of opened itself up a little bit now, but Ryan Green's still on the push in that R8. I think he might have a bit more corner exit speed here than the Mercedes that we've seen. But Jake Edwards still on the push back again, on the hunt back again. We know he's got the pace.
Yeah, I've been for the top 10 again.
And I reckon he'll be able to take these guys if he's smart about this. He'll be able to take these two guys, and he'll be up a couple more spots from here.
Just looking at those gaps through the top 10, you know, I think maybe we might see probably 6th or 7th place from Jake, maybe, if he can keep it clean the rest of the way home.
Yeah.
You know, if something exciting happens, we might see him at that podium. I think you need a safety car for that to happen, though.
Or two.
Yeah, I can just see our race control on the radio at the moment, but I can't quite hear what he's saying, unless he's just sat on his button. Doesn't look like anything's happening on track. Tyson's certainly not moving at the moment, so
Jake Edwards about to make moves. He's starting to put the pressure on now. He's bridged that gap now. He was over a second. Now he's bridged that gap to well under 4 tenths now. So here he comes. He's coming. He's coming at these boys. And he's going to come at them hard.
it actually creates a bit of an opportunity for Ryan Green too, because if Jake can slip through, when Jake gets past Pavlik, it gives Ryan a really good chance to follow him. It could almost become a free pass on Pavlik if Green's smart about this one.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can always cash in sometimes, can't you? Especially if one person's trying to hold one line, one person's trying to hold the other. If you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you go, okay, I'll just take the same line as this person's going to take. And then you end up getting the inside line, and you get two cars on the inside of you, and you've got nothing. As a driver, as Peter Pavlovich now, if it happens to him, there's not really much he can do about it, right? In that position, you kind of have to
Green there, Ryan Green real squirrely on exit. So I think from what I've seen of the Audis tonight, probably the quicker.
Oh, Ryan Green, no!
I was just saying how he was getting a bit squirrely. From what I've seen from the Audis, they seem to be pretty quick, but they do seem to also be quite a handful to control.
Yep, 100%.
So
that was just too much Jandal, bro. That was too much Jandal on the exit.
Too much Jandal.
Oh no, he got curbed. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Look out for the curves, boys. This really unsettles these GT3 cars.
It actually almost looks like he's got the car running a little bit too low. Like setup-wise, and it actually looks like he ground striked the curb.
No, he broke on the curb. He was braking on the curb.
Yeah, but then as he's come off it, he's actually done a ground strike.
Wow, that sucks. Curse of the commentator, eh? But Jake Edwards putting the pressure on. But that goes to show you when you're in the car as well and you're sweating out. Like, these guys are an hour and 10 minutes in, man. You'd be sweating hard in your rig right now. And you'd be sitting there going, oh, pressure behind you, pressure in front of you. We've had them, we've had safety cars just come out of pits. You got Jake Edwards behind you. It's a pretty stressful situation to be in.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, if you're watching this and you're not a sim racer and you're sitting there thinking, it's just a video game, how hard can it be? Let me tell you, after you've done 90 minutes in the sim, or plus, half an hour's qualifying, 2 hours in the sim, you are sweating. Your muscles are aching. Yeah. Everything hurts. It's so physical. And depending on what gear these guys are driving, if you've got your sort of basic, shop bought, out of the box Logitech setup, maybe not so much. But if you're running, like an Alpha Magic or a SemiCube or some of these, high-powered direct drive wheels, as some of these guys are, imagine like having an arm wrestle with your strongest relative for 2 hours. That's how your arms are going to feel at the end of this race.
Yeah, 100% it is. But then both sides as well. So with both your arms, have an arm wrestle with both your arms with two of your strongest relatives.
It's just relentless. Oh yeah, but ShiBBy's just saying the torque on the Logitech hurts his arms. But we all know he's a bit of a weakling. I mean, when you get a...
made the move.
Yeah, great move there from Jake. When you get a wheel that has a big red emergency stop button, that's when you know that things are getting serious.
Yeah, Yeah. You really learn to get your thumbs out of the way. With a SimuCube especially, or a SimMagic, and as you were just saying, you learn to get your thumbs out of the way. And you can tell, you see like the Formula 1 drivers and a lot of professional race drivers keep their thumbs on the tops of the wheel as they're driving, and they learn to do with basically the palms and that sort of rotation because of how much damage you can do to your whole body, not just your thumbs. Oh, Dodsy pushing up into third. We've got Andrew Lydon, who won our AM series last season, but he was always in the top 5 of our pro series, so it was really good to see him up there. And now he's pushed himself up into the pro category, and he's pushing hard. Andrew Lydon and Harry Dodds. What a surge back up from the back again, mate. This guy just doesn't give up. He just keeps on getting up, keeps on pushing, and keeps on fighting. What a legend.
Yeah, definitely a constant performer. He's certainly one of the he's certainly one of those guys that just always is making places. You can never count him out. Even when he makes a mistake, he gets right back up there. He carries on, pretends it's never happened. And with 20 odd minutes left to go, the grid's really shaken up again because we've got Greg Barber up the front, we've got Kittens in second and fourth, Harry Dodds in between them, Daniel Gray all of a sudden up into 5th place out of nowhere, Bradbury up in 6th, Kyle Ridley on the charge up in 7th, Jake Edwards right behind Ridley in 8th, and then we've got Pavlovic, Green and Keane. We've seen these guys battle throughout the grid, but really shaken up right now, and as I say, Daniel Byrne was leading, coming in second. He's just dived into the pit lane, so...
Trying to just jump in. Michael Locke and Tom Riley have just had crashes, but look at that. But look at... has Tom Riley had a crash there? Okay. Apologies.
Dodds and Bradbury also into the pit lane as well, so Dodds' track position again just being compromised. He'll be doing a bit of a splash in a dash, or maybe not even fuel, maybe just taking a couple of tyres. That was super quick.
Splash and dash, that was.
Splash and dash, I think.
Oh, that's crew chief. Never trust crew chief. Do your numbers, cuz.
It's put him back out in 10th in a defensive little move from Harry on the pit exit. And look who's behind him once again. It's Thomas Sanderson.
Oh, he'll get the flashing lights on soon, won't he?
The flashing lights will be going. We've seen these guys at it on a couple of occasions already. Had great battles tonight between Sanderson and Dodds. Matty Keane hasn't really recovered from his pit stop. He ended up down 14th, currently running in 10th.
No, he has. He's gained himself another 5 positions already from where he came out. So he actually came out in 14th. So he's made his way back up to 9th. So 5 spots, He's, I reckon he might be able to get these guys as well. Ryan Green seemed like he was struggling with those tyres on that Audi. And that's, Daniel Burns just dropped down because had to pit as well. Oh, Andrew Lydon into the pits now. Wow, I didn't think I would think that was happening. I suppose it was.
Dylan Gray and also, so just looking down our timing screen, Greg Barber pitted under the last safety car, lap 16. Kyle Ridley pitted lap 39, so 3 laps ago. Jake Edwards last pitted lap 18.
Oh, maybe Jake Edwards has done the sneaky little undercut and filled up more because he did have a longer pit stop, didn't he?
Kyle Ridley had a longer pit stop the first. Oh, sorry, Ray Oliver. Sorry, Ray Oliver had the longer pit stop. So there we go, a little graphic on screen there. That's a new thing this year too. Showing you the pit stop strategies. Matty Keane quite a long first stint, as was Green.
Yeah, so Matty Keen's already up into 6th, so he's just jumped from 9th to 6th. Matty Keen's back in the race, mate. Come on.
Yeah, well, I said he hadn't really recovered, but didn't take into account the fact that there were still cars yet to pit. So,
and Matty Keen was one of those longer pit stoppers. Did he do enough till the end of the race so he didn't have to do the second pit stop? Oh,
yep.
guys.
I think Matty Keen and Ray Oliver were probably looking at fueling to the finish from lap 27.
Oh, that's smart. Come on.
Ray Oliver, he's down the table still back in 14th, so he hasn't really gained out of that pit shuffle either. So
No, he hasn't really.
work to do for Ray Oliver.
Yeah, big work. If he hasn't profited out of that, he's probably going to sit there, right?
Yeah, he needs to sort of find something, get a few positions up now. Jake Edwards into the pit lane.
Oh, Daniel Burns slotting up there. Daniel Burns only had 2 pit stops, so Daniel Burns still yet. Wow. It's just really going to shake it up to see who's... Yeah, we were wondering earlier, those guys, there's a couple of guys that did those longer pit stops. I think yeah. Matty Keen, mate. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. He's already up into 4th now. Come on. 9th to 6th to 4th within laps. Literally laps. And Dodsey's right behind him again. And now we've got Thomas Sanderson just putting pressure on the back of Dodsey as well. So if Sanderson's putting pressure on the back of Dodsey, Dodsey's going to definitely push harder and push faster. So they're going to catch up to him pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Dodds there sitting in 5th at the moment, chasing down Matty Keen. The gaps are all fairly even, about 3 seconds. Greg Barber now, our race leader, into the pit lane. Lap 44.
And it puts Kyle Ridley slotted back himself into 1st place once again.
Yeah, well,
so maybe the silent assassin has been Kyle Ridley the whole time.
Well, I mean, 22 seconds, the interval on track at the moment. Craig Barber, probably just a splash and dash. He could get away with coming out at a fairly similar time. An 11-second pit stop. He's just been passed now. He's back out on track. Greg Barber will rejoin in 2nd place. And Sanderson makes contact with Dodds.
Oh, no.
Dodds manages to regather. It will cost him the position of Lydon, sorry. And Bradbury gets through as well. Sanderson ends up being a
Jake
bit...
Edwards just profits from all of this as well.
Yeah, Sanderson ends up being a bit of a loser in that one. Jake Edwards, you see they're all over the back of Sanderson now. Oh, squeezed on the outside.
If you have Jake Edwards behind you in a Porsche and something like that happens, that's not the pressure you want all of a sudden.
Yeah, nah, be worried.
Is he going to make it stick? Oh, the over and under. No, but these R8s are so much quicker on the exit than it seems the Porsche is or any of these other cars. But they're just unruly, it seems, you know. And these really tight corners or these tight exits, they're not so confident.
Yeah, it seems that they just don't like those slower corners. Mid-speed corners, they're carrying through beautifully. That last corner, they don't get really unsettled up on the curb.
It's almost like when they go from real low revs and have to try and squeeze the throttle to higher revs very quickly. It's kind of kicks the rear end out too much. Would you agree?
Yeah, pretty much. It's sort of they just get unsettled, unbalanced, or whatever, the suspension loading. The power delivery is not quite there. Just had through on the RC chat, Thomas Sanderson will receive a black flag for that incident on Harry Dodds. He's in the pit lane now serving that penalty. Goes in from 8th position. And he transits the lane. We'll let you know when he comes back out.
It's crazy good. Thank you very much. Big shout out to Race Control once again. as a very speedy decision making. And it makes it great for our series as well, especially in the Enduro.
So
Get the decisions.
So Pitts from goes into the pit lane from 8th position. Sanderson rejoins in 12th. He's right behind Pavlovic. In fact, he's already passed Pavlovic, not wasting any time. Peter Pavlovic not giving up that easy though. Takes the outside line down to the chicane. Sanderson sort of deciding whether he's slipping in behind or not. And yeah.
Sanderson behind Pavlovic there. Top
sorry,
Riley just
sorry.
making that beautiful move.
I'm getting my Alpha Venturis mixed up.
Just the KSC breaking it up in between.
They need to paint
Mercedes just getting hounded by these two Audis, eh?
They
Wow,
need to paint a different color or something so we can tell them apart.
But then Peter Pavlovich has got another. He's actually got three Audis behind him. They've got a bit of a gap behind Mr. Sanderson, but from then on, we've got a very good mix of everyone in here. Oh, is this move going to be made? I think it might be. I know through driving the Mercedes, it is pretty hard on those rear tyres, to be honest, but I'm sure the Audi's probably just as hard, right?
Yeah,
Maybe I need to buy myself an Audi.
Yeah, I don't actually own it, but I have driven it on other people's sims, and it is quite a tricky car to sort of get a hold of. I'm just looking at the fuel numbers at the moment. Well, not looking at fuel numbers. I'm looking at pit stop laps rather. And Ray Oliver and Matty Keane last went in lap 27 and 28 respectively, but they did have those longer pit stops. They did put on more fuel. So at this stage, I would think with less than 10 minutes to go, everybody should be making it home.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if people are clutching in at this moment. We've got something off track on the side there. Greg Johnson just had a bit of a crash on the outside of the track there, so might have just let everybody go there because he knows how much these guys are hard pushing in this mid pack. Man,
Yeah,
this is like a battle for first though right now, isn't it? It's crazy.
Oh, it is. And, Pavlovic's kind of the oddball out there. He's got two teammates either side of him. They'll be communicating. They'll be in a chat together on Discord. They'll be talking. They'll be tricking their spots. Pavlovic, they're trying to look for a bit of an alternative line. He's got Sanderson up the inside.
Oh!
Rubbing
his racing.
Corner.
Oh, look at this. And that's the beauty of these GT3 races for these cars as well. You can rub a bit. It's not... Oh! Just as I say that.
It'll be looked at.
Just as I say that.
Peter might have fed him a bit of a wheel there. Looked like he kind of checked him up on the line. So it's a bit hard to tell in real time. We'll see if we can get the replay and slow it down. If you watch, it does look like Peter just squeezes him a little bit. Yeah, there was definitely contact there.
Oh, it was a bit of change of line, I must say.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to RC, but there was a bit of a change in line. Whether that's netcode or not, who knows? But
I think the contact might have been a bit spongy, but there's certainly a change of line. Peter Pavlovic was appearing to move up on track. I think it'd be one.
yeah.
No, he didn't feed the wheel, but
No.
I think it'll be one of those ones that probably will end up getting put down as a racing incident, but certainly an interesting move. So Greg Barber there currently running in second place behind Kyle Ridley. He's right on the back of Kyle Ridley too.
It looks like Barber's in his peak tyre window, though. Come on. Oh, mate, he's around and out, man. He's peak tyre limit. He has calculated this to a T, mate. Look at that. Look at this drive out of the corner. Come on. He's nailed this. Setup king. Wowee. Crisscross boy strike again.
Yeah, great drive there from Greg Barber. Really quite reserved too. He hasn't sort of pushed overly hard. He's had a couple of battles here and there, but just a consistent performer. Hasn't had the up and downs like some of the others have had. sort of taken his
Use
pit
them all
stops in
to
his
his
own time.
advantage.
Yeah, exactly. He's really capitalised on everybody else's misfortune, but not to take away from his efforts as well, because he's run a bloody good race.
Oh no, he's kept out of the trouble. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, kept out of the trouble with just being consistent and fast the whole time, and just chopping away at people's lap times. Good on him. Daniel Bird's another one as well. I can't believe he's made it up in the third place there. He's a massive improvement, and we've seen him over the last few seasons in different series as well. Really, really improve and kind of just kind of get a bit more patient in his racing and just sort of sit on the back of everybody and just go, okay, cool. You guys have your race. You guys have your battles. I'm just going to defend, and I'm just going to profit from what happens in front of me and be patient. So it's paying off. Well done, mate.
Yeah, I think the kitten cars, they're again, they just sort of slip under the radar sometimes. You know, we see them on screen, they're running together, but when they do end up splitting up for whatever reason, they kind of achieve quite a bit without even realizing. They, you know, if one slips off the pace for whatever reason, all of a sudden they're back on, and they just sort of run together so nicely. We see Sanderson there all over the back of Pavlovic now. Oi, a bit of an off track, he gets it squirrely, manages to regather the R8. That is not an easy thing to do. Puts it into the pit lane, so that's an interesting call, because I would have
some of them need a splash and dash still.
Yeah, I would have thought Sanderson would have had enough fuel to get home.
Surely not. Actually, what thought he would do? Oh, okay, I'll off in the pits.
Yeah, Chin just losing a position as well. So, sorry, I just sort of missed that for a second. Did he stop, or did he just drive straight through? Oh, okay, I thought he'd already served that. Yeah.
Oh, because he would have pitted before. And now he's doing the drive through. That's smarter, though. That's much smarter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. So it was an iRacing issued for incident points. So that's 17X, which means he's been off the track a few too many times, or he's made contact with a few too many cars. So that's an iRacing issued drive-through penalty. I didn't even consider that. I genuinely thought he had already served his black flag, but yeah, another incident drive-through there.
Look at this, Greg Barber, man. Look how smooth he is on track, and he's already opened up 2.5 seconds gap. Wow, he's nailed this setup. He's nailed that strat.
Yeah, he's certainly ran that track down. So just a report coming from the background. Hockenheim is quite harsh on track limits, it seems. Quite a few drivers fairly high up on their incident points for off tracks. So, you know, perhaps with a couple of minutes left, as guys get desperate, we might see a few more drive-throughs. Sanderson's in again.
Does it look like, I think maybe Matty Keed might have Daniel Byrne soon.
And this time Sanderson is stepping for a pit.
Yeah.
So Sanderson has gone through the lane again. This time he has pitted. So all of that position now pretty well gone for Sanderson. Yeah, his race pretty well over now at this point, it seems. He's got
Matty Keane on the hunt again. Matty Keane trying to get this podium back.
Whoa! I have no idea, but on my second screen, someone just went flying through a corner and off track. There we are, Michael Locke. Just caught it at the corner of my eye on my backup screen. Oh, he's trying to hit the grass. Oh. That's a hard hit.
He was looking at his rear vision mirror. He was trying to let them pass, and then he broke on the inside curb, and then and then the car jumped. Passenger at that point.
So God's now battling Edwards currently running in 7th and 8th respectively. Jake Edwards 6 seconds back from Andrew Lydon, who's all over the...
Look at Matty Keane making this. He wants his podium back. He's hungry. Oh, he's got it just fanging it sideways in the McLaren.
Oh, look at the flames at the back of that thing.
Yeah, just like, yes, I'm going to make this pass, and I'm going to blow flames in your face. Boom. What a move. Come on, son. Up into the podium position, back into the podium position. We were questioning his earlier very long pit stop, but we know now because everyone else did a double stop. He's only done...
And checkered flag is out. Greg Barber will be coming across to take the checkered flag.
Mr. Greg Barber with a beautiful, beautiful race. What a strat. Just so smooth. Cole Ridley had the pace the whole way through. Matty Keane getting that on the last lap as well. What a brilliant drive. Just blowing some flames in his face. Wowee. Daniel Byrne with a very consistent race the whole way through. But unfortunately, Matty Keane getting him there with the pace at the end, eh, Brendo?
Oh yeah, definitely a great drive there from Matty Keane, but a pretty steady drive from Byrne as well. Yeah. Dodds, Lydon, Edwards. Edwards is in the pit lane. He didn't go over the line. He went into the pit lane on the last lap, so...
Wow, how did Bradbury make it back up into 5th? What a legend. Legendary drive in the Ferrari.
10th position. Ray Oliver certainly... I don't want to say he was costed by his choice of a longer pit stop, but not able to get back up into the top 10, finishing in 11th. Gowan's 12th.
Mr. Harry Dodds ended up in 7th in the end. Oof, oof.
Yeah, pretty steady result for Dodds. Top 10 is sort of what he'd be expecting.
Yeah.
No doubt he'd be wanting podiums, but he'd be quite happy with the top 10.
Yeah. He was patient. He should be happy with his race. Definitely should be happy with this race. Yep, it's only round 1. Haha!
Yeah,
we got a lot of very interesting tracks coming up. Like Brands Hatch is going to separate the men from the boys, I think. To be honest.
Brands Hatch is going to be a great track, I think. It's one of those ones that it does pop up in officials every so often.
I love it.
And
but you either love it or hate it, right?
Yeah, it's a really tricky little track, especially in a GT3, because it's not really a GT circuit as such, but it's
change of direction, but change of weight as well.
Yeah, it really changes it up. So we do have our race results finalised up on screen there now. Greg Barber coming home in 1st place, Kyle Ridley 2nd, followed by Matty Keane 3rd, Daniel Byrne 4th, Robbie Radbury 5th, one of our newcomers to the league. Congratulations, 5th place on your first night out. Andrew Lydon 6th place. Doddsy, as we mentioned, in 7th. Dylan Gray, another one of the new guys to the GT3 league, coming home in 8th. Jake Edwards, after what was a pretty shocking race for him, coming home in 9th. Peter Pavlovic rounds out your top 10. Then from 10 down, Oliver, Gowans, Riley, Hodgkinson, Green, Gerard, Gardner, Proctor, Chin. He was running up the top 10 for a very long time too, fell out there towards the end. Sanderson there with a couple of trips down the pit lane towards the end, rounding out the 20. And then the back of the field we have Sheaf, Loke, Cowan and Johnston as the tail end. Charlie?
I think from my point of view, I think some of there was a few people out there to prove some things tonight. Might not have come off in their right way. So Matty Keane out there, just 3rd place, just sitting out there doing a bit of a burnout.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. You know, there are guys out there looking to make a statement tonight. Not all of them quite made the statement they were after. But
yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like as you say, it's round 1, and if that's what we're in for this year, that was an exciting race. There were some great battles. And I think
flames and smoke. Come on,
Dodsy's out of fuel because Dodsy's currently getting pushed into the pit lane by one of his teammates. You see, just there in the back, the top of shot there. Yeah, if that's the racing we're in for this year, I'm really excited for the season. Obviously, we mentioned at the top 40 drivers registered so far. You've still got 2 more weeks to get your registrations in if you haven't already. And if we get a grid like that, if we get a race like that, with a 40-car grid, it's going to be exciting.
It's gonna be cool.
Alrighty, so as the drivers do their cool-down lap, pull into the pits, we're just going to wait for our podium to jump into the green room. We'll switch to the DSL Welding Services replay, get a couple of highlights of the race. Oh, cool. So the drivers are in the green room. We'll start with Matty Keane, 3rd place. Matty, you opted for the longer pit stop, it seemed, taking on a bit more fuel and tyres as well, possibly?
Yeah, I did take tyres, and I tried the longer stop, but unfortunately I just wasn't quick enough before the stop to reach a big enough gap. I was hoping a bit of traffic would help me out, but unfortunately didn't have the outright pace after the stop.
Yeah, right. We sort of saw yourself and Ray Oliver take the longer stops, and we sort of reminisced on last year when Ray took tyres at Fuji and it cost him and his teammate a 1-2. But other than that, you had a pretty good race. You had some great battles out there. What was the racing like for you, man?
The racing at the front was actually really, really good, really clean, and they were really hard-fought battles. Especially Daniel right at the end. Oh, I
That
don't
last
know.
lap was awesome, bro. Oh, sorry.
I think I brought the coconuts tonight. I did. I took the balls back out of the missus's purse, and and I kept that foot
You
flat.
cut the apron strings, did you, buddy?
I did. I cut them off today.
Nice.
But no, Daniel, he drove really, really well. He deserved that. I didn't want to be that close and not get over the line. So it was a bit touchy with the rear end. It wanted to go on the outside of the kink, but luckily I held it and snuck through.
Yeah, well, that does pose the interesting question. You're the only driver in the field in the McLaren or in the flamethrower. Talk us through that decision, mate.
you really want that decision? That decision was made 30 seconds after I got into the into the server and go, what? They've taken away my forward.
Just run with it then. Is that why the livery? Because normally you guys just have awesome liveries, and I was like, oh, I thought it was a bit strange you're not in the same livery.
While I was loading into the to the server, I'm trying to slap the livery together. I'm like, I don't want to go without a paint. But she'll be slapped on there for next week.
Alrighty, mate. Well, congratulations, first round and a 3rd place, mate. Who do you need to thank tonight?
Oh, I need to thank the SLM boys because they've been really pushing me to do more racing. I did step back a bit and wasn't enjoying it as much, but getting back into it, the SLM boys are really getting around me and helping me out. Andrew Proctor for holding up Ray and just releasing me in that second stint. That was a nice little buffer, and SLM has finally got our first sponsor, so I'd like to thank Dubby Energy Drinks. If anybody wants some energy drinks, go to their website and use the code SLM and smash out some energy drinks from Dubby.
Wait, mate, sounds good. Well, congratulations once again, and no doubt we'll see you throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, boys.
Alrighty,
Nice,
so we'll move on to our second place winner. God, that makes no sense. Second place on the podium, Kyle Ridley, mate. How are you?
I'm good, yourselves?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Pretty exciting race there to open the series. How was it for you in the cockpit, man?
It was pretty good. Led from the start and, just managed my fuel and tyres and pit safety car. Thought I'd take my stop. Figured I'd have a short stop on the second stint was the better strategy, but I just couldn't manage my tyres, and towards the end, that was it. Greg was coming at me and I couldn't I couldn't defend anymore. My tires were gone.
Yeah, definitely, mate. The tyre game, Toddy sort of alluded to it throughout the broadcast, was going to be sort of where the race was going to be won and lost.
Yeah, well, this is the first time I've properly put time into the new GT3s. So my teammates are telling me, "Oh, you need to change tires every stint." It's like, really? They used to just do it for like the whole. We didn't even need to change the tires. So I've learnt. It's a valuable lesson. Not the way I wanted to learn it, but it's learnt.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. BMW last year, Audi this year. Why the change, mate?
Not too sure, to be honest. I think with the update, it's brought up the Audi in terms of pace, but I only purchased it this Wednesday, and me and my teammate Ray and a couple of other Frog Leaps are doing the Daytona 24, so I figured that's the car they're doing it in, so we'll get more seat time doing it through this way as well. So I actually quite enjoyed the car. For a mid-engine car, it was fairly well balanced, and I got along with it, so I'll probably keep her for the rest of the season.
Good reasoning, I suppose. Hey, mate, obviously, first one in the books, second place, good points for the season. Who would you like to thank tonight, mate?
Of course, I want to thank all the guys at SRW for hosting and officiating and whatnot. You guys for commentating. Juiced Energy, All Sports Gaming, Toyo Sim, the Pet Door Company, FR Creative, and Ray and Dodds for being here with me tonight.
Yeah, sweet, mate. Congratulations once again, second place, and we'll see you again throughout the season, no doubt.
Yes, I look forward to it.
Sweet as, mate. Catch you later. Alrighty, and we will move on to our race winner for round one here at Hockenheim Ring from Crisscross Racing, Mr. Greg Barber. Congratulations, mate.
Hey, boys, bit of a surprise.
Yeah, mate, you were smooth as. Sorry.
No, you go for it, Toddy.
No, you were very, very smooth as. I thought, as I saw it through, it seemed like you nailed your strat. You've obviously done quite a few laps around here, and put a bit of practice in, or did you just naturally just come out here like you normally do, just log it?
I'd like to take some credit, but yeah, I just saw that early safety car, the safety car towards the end of that first stint, and thought, yeah, a pit stop under safety car's got to be better than green flag. So jumped in then, and then it was just a matter of just trying to maintain a consistent pace and try and put as little fuel in it at the end as I could, and that ended up being the difference, I think.
Yeah, it's just it seemed like you're smooth through there, and had your strat nice and down, and you're a bit silent assassin the way through the field there, and it all paid off for you. So, you looking forward to next round?
Yeah, where we go next week?
Winton next week.
Winton, that's one of my favourite tracks.
And then
Let's
we go
give
to
it a
Long
crack.
Beach, which is going to be different.
I don't know about 30 odd GT3s around Winton, but we'll see how we go.
It's certainly going to create some exciting broadcastable action, I tell you that much.
Yeah. No, it was some
And
good
back it
racing
up
out
with
there.
Long Beach as well. Come on,
Long
this
Beach,
is going to be nuts.
Yeah, it should be good. Should be good. Yeah, and hopefully I'll have a teammate back next week. So it'll be, I don't mind when he's not here because he gives me a chance to win. But
You're paired with
take it while I have a chance.
Adam, is it?
Yeah, Adam will be my teammate.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cat amongst the pigeons again. Wow. Come on. Ooh, you boys throwing down next week.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw plenty of great action on track, plenty of battles tonight, and obviously, as you say there, that lucky, or not lucky, but the fortuitous timing of the safety car led to a good result. Mate, who do you need to thank for your success tonight?
Crisscross Racing number 22 Porsche was pretty good tonight. We've got a new naming sponsor, you might have gathered. That's Shunt Scenery's taken over the naming rights for our team cars, along with Jennifer Russell Real Estate, Smoke Studio, Game Changer, June Designs, and Poolmaster Bayside are still around too. So got a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Always great to have the support of the team sponsors. Hey, mate, once again, congratulations. First round win in the books. Some pretty steady points there. And you can keep bragging rights over Adam there for the next few days at least anyway. It's it does bring to an end our broadcast for tonight here at Hockenheim Ring Round 1. The 90-minute Enduro. Next week, as we mentioned, we will be at Winton. Obviously, for SRW this week, we do have the Vet Supercars as tradition on the Sunday night. We'll just pop the grid up there once again for your viewing pleasure. And we'll run through our podium. Greg Barber, first place. Kyle Ridley, second. And Matty Keane in third. My name is Brendon. And for Toddy and ShiBBy up in the booth, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you all again next week.
Much love, legends. Keep safe.